first time ever.
That Spinks is going to be having a hot start coming into this grand final, because we're talking about a guy that back in the group stage of things, he was joint top rated in terms of him, Zywoo and Electronic all posting a 1.38 rating. Yesterday, it was a little bit quiet from him.
Nobody's questioning the level that Spinks can put to the server. The question is, do you have the mental resilience? Do you have the mental backbone to put it forth when you're on the stage? And in that regard, I think it was extremely important for him to have this third map in the semifinal, to have this moment where everything clicks, and then you can look at your teammate and feel like, hell, I've done my job. I've done my part. You're not just carrying me. I'm not just a group stage player. I'm ready to put my best on the server. This was very meaningful to him, because consider just the experience factor for half a second here. I saw Apex on that stage tell Flamesy when to start walking, because he's been on the stage and he knows when to start walking. He knows the music. He told Flamesy, wait a minute, now you walk. That's in itself, that's the experience. They've been here, but not everybody on the Vitality side has, and that's a learning curve.
It is a learning curve, and it's something they learn by doing. The only way you get to learn a match, that's by being on this stage. I'm not worried at all on Spinks. I'm not worried for 1 second. What I saw during the major in Paris, where the pressure was at its highest for Vitality, at home turf, they had to win that major. That was the one declared goal they had for the entire season. Spinks rose to the occasion. As you said, third map yesterday as well, dominating play coming out of Spinks. He's needed today for them to win, without a doubt, but I'm not worried for him.
So what are the win conditions when we're looking on the side of FaZe? Because I feel like we could pull out basically any name and go, hey, yeah, they have the opportunity, they have the ability to be showing up, particularly when it comes to these big stages, right? These are big game players.
Well, it's kind of interesting to actually, I believe FaZe is going to start on the CT side of Vertigo, and that in itself is strange. I think we see teams usually go for the T side, be a bit more aggressive. Maybe they're just pulling the bluff. They're calling the bluff out of Vitality. They're saying, you guys, you don't have the play for it. You don't have the game plan for it. We're going to be fine. But I think for Robs to play as Robs has done is going to be a win condition. We cannot have a moderate performance the way we've seen it before. He's going to have to prove, or rather deliver more than he has. I'm confident he will.
I would put Rain under the spotlight. Rain is a player that can define games, that can decide games. We don't often put him up there at the same pedigree as Robs or Twist for that matter, but we've seen Rain be MVP at majors before. We've seen MVP performances coming out of Rain left, right, and center. He's going to be aggressive, especially on Vertigo. He's going to take the fight. He's going to put it to Vitality, so keep an eye on Rain.
Well, we've got our maps, we've got our teams, and we certainly have a crowd. So it is time to get this grand final in Copenhagen underway.
Royal Arena, for many years you have given us fantastic moments. You have been a crowd with amazing energy. How are you feeling today? You guys cheer for every kill, every moment in the game, everything that we love about this beautiful game. And right now, we have one hell of a grand final ahead of us. What are you guys thinking about FaZe? And I know there's some Vitality fans in here. The boos still come. Well, guys, for one last time, Royal Arena, Counter-Strike fans around the world, join me as it's time to bring the high!
For the fourth and final time, we bring you a grand final to the Royal Arena. Denmark, it's time to make your country proud. Get loud!
Let's get wild. Inside the server, outside the server, Royal Arena. Rops holds, looking to give you the show. Kerrigan says 7-map pool. I'll believe it when I see it. Roki and Rops, they're gonna hold off at the beginning of this one. There was a good amount of support for that mid-hold. Player back by Elevator, so still layers even if Vitality want to come at this, but they're going to have to do it man down.
I saw so much talk out of Kerrigan right before that game started. We have no idea if the prep ran this deep, right? Coming right into Vertigo is a big question. Vitality would never make a pick like this without some crazy anti-strat, and they must expect that FaZe would have no idea would come through.
They have to. You know, if I only had a 6-map pool, I'd be telling everybody 7 maps.
But that's a veto of champions. You know, that's something that you can only do when you're one of these elite teams, to throw a curveball like this. You know it's going to be well prepared. This could speak volumes about XTAS coming back into the lineup for Vitality.
No Zonic to work with, big shoes to fill. Meanwhile, Vitality have just fallen silent ever since that first clash towards mid. A little skin shown, Twists, falls back, but no panic. And I don't expect to see panic throughout this match. The experience on either side. Twists just can't quite get that headshot. Apex, interestingly, double kill back for him. His fresh mags come out, but he can't get anything more than the two. Toppled by his counterpart in Kerrigan. It is FaZe winning pistol once more.
Yeah, that's one step closer for Kerrigan. It's always going to feel like that. Map lead, round lead, whatever. Kerrigan's story on the line here. Actually, this is just the perfect final from the perspective of Vitality or FaZe, for FaZe and CS2, but for Vitality's year as a team to win the only major this year. The team to come out of that as the best team of the year up until FaZe showed up as soon as a new game dropped.
Yeah, right, because of FaZe that wasn't showing up towards the tail end of CSGO.
Yeah, the way that I think Manny put it was great. You know, it was a team that they weren't finished, but they were out of energy, right? They were uninspired for a while. Like, they always made games competitive. They always made for exciting finals. They didn't win as many tournaments as some of the teams that were dominating throughout 23, G2, Vitality, but they still always were a threat.
Yep.
But now they're inspired, energetic, straight up champions, undefeated, still so far in CS2, unreal. You'd expect to see something like that at the beginning of CSGO or the beginning of a new game because everything's so new. But with CS2 and the amount of people who are still good, there's clearly a direct transfer of skill from one game to the other, right? I mean, it's not like too much has changed. But the fact that they can be this dominant is so crazy. And I say that, but on a round with almost nothing, Vitality have already come up with 2 kills.
Now, luckily for FaZe, there's not this immediate follow-through out of Vitality. They just pause for a second, get their hands on that M4, putting it in the hands of the young man, Flames. Few seconds still left. Another peek off of Kerrigan. Looking to dance with ZywOo, but you gotta be cautious with that pistol in hand. Even if it's a Glock, it's ZywOo we're talking about.
Oh.
Sure enough, right there, half the health gone. A single headshot, but nothing further. Spinks will trade,
What?
and so will Flames. That M4 inches closer.
What, there was no investment at all. Look at the amount of money they have left over, and they're in a 2-on-1.
FaZe were the embodiment of force by wins versus complexity yesterday. FaZe took it from their opponent time and time again. And now, just like this, we see a crack in FaZe's armor. A shot to the back of Twist, and he looks to disengage. I mean, he feels pinned.
Wow.
He's done. Vitality will come in with bare bones and pick up a second-round win.
That's a massive show of strength. That is so ridiculous. I mean, wait. The investment right there? When's the last time that happened to FaZe? In the last few months. We didn't have a single SMG, no Galil's bot, no armor. No armor, right?
A P250 maybe for Spinks.
Holy. Now, FaZe coming into this are the favorites by the numbers. Anybody who put money on the game, of course, you're going to bet on the team that hasn't lost before, right? That makes perfect sense. But as we've seen Vitality power up in this tournament, in sort of the infancy of CS2, get comfortable as they were in CSGO, I don't think people would be surprised if they were one of the teams that could beat FaZe and end this streak. Looking back, it might seem like, oh, it was only a matter of time. We might be witnessing that right now. We'll have to see.
Spinks catching Twists, turned the wrong way. This is the buy-up. FaZe working with more than what Vitality had, and, well, Kerrigan can't manage more than just the one. Still enough to soften up this bomb site, and tidbits of utility to be thrown forward too. Low health on half of them, and Brokey lucky to be alive now. As Apex pulls off the site, those smoke grenades are gonna just be all that Vitality really need, or so it seems. Flames will catch it through the side of the smoke and look to just continue this fight. But he's got to be careful because his position continues to be given away. The peek on the side of it, not going to stop him, and he will clear both. So Vitality convert, but it's still a good test from FaZe.
It was, yeah, it was a good test from FaZe. And yeah, again, we're going to learn about how ready and how comfortable they are here on Vertigo. This is something that they've created for themselves, right? 7-map pool. That also means that people can take them anywhere. Their ban could change all the time. I wonder if we look back on this. You know what I'll say? Most of the time in a video like this, there's a little bit of egg on the face of the team that took a risk. The team that starts to pick into Vertigo when Vertigo first comes out, the team that picks Ancient first, usually they're the ones who get trashed. It's usually the team that's already the favorite, that have a history of winning, that end up winning again. So that's why it's so That's why we talked about it so much coming into this first map.
Couple hand cannons for FaZe. Vitality coming into this map with a very tempered pace, right? Feels like if you're gonna take a swing at the current Kings, don't miss off the start. Saw that insane back and forth between FaZe and Complexity yesterday. 9 force buy rounds back and forth. And well, right now, FaZe aren't getting that from Vitality. Vitality won't give them this early lead. No response just yet. And it's fair to expect Kerrigan to die with just the P250. Vitality hit the pause momentarily, throw up that wall of smokes, and Brokey just peels away from it, so nobody's sitting in a pocket to really deal an issue to Vitality. It's just all fine.
Yeah, they win the space. There's no way to fight into that, so okay. Even with just a USP, it's worth falling back, and maybe they can get a kill later. Boost comes up, Rain goes down. And there won't be any type of eco back.
ZywOo makes sure he puts everybody down.
Fundamental gameplay says on the A site, you get to the corner of the top of the ramp. You get control of that around the minute mark. You have your smokes ready.
Okay.
Yeah, you can jump and shoot in this game.
Apparently.
That's why ZywOo loves this game, he said. Get top ramp control, minute left. Wall smokes on the A site. And if it's at that point and you haven't lost any players, you have a massive advantage. So that's what the T's are going to try to constantly repeat. Now, FaZe, they're smarter than to try those really risky re-aggressions on the ramp where they slide out. They're going to do that once in a while, but most of the time they are going to take the fight to the bottom of it because they understand that Vitality know what to do with the space. And here it is already. A three-pronged attack.
Ooh, bit messy from ZywOo. Doesn't quite finish his kill. Rain will pick up one.
Oh, he got away.
Damn, manages to escape. Surprisingly, Apex's nade is great for damage, so that's going to be a 3 wounded for FaZe.
They know probably about 2.
Blind over the sandbags.
You can see they're actually pretending to not be afraid of it.
Apex peeks. Oh, interesting. Double kill off the short play. One of the players who was already so low in Rain, and that half health of Brokey that he'd softened up with his nade. And Apex has been having an actual hell of a tournament.
Oh, yeah, he is. Keep going.
4th rated player for them, right? It's just Mezzi still trying to find his form with this lineup. Biggest game of Mezzi's career, as properly said by the analysts.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not an event that right now he'll be remembered for.
Yeah.
His grand finals, when Mezzi comes alive, shows the potential that earned him this spot. I mean, huge shoes to fill for both the coach and replacing Magisk. Especially in the hearts of this arena. But we get another creep and crawl out of Vitality, a slow play.
Guys, are Vitality still a little Danish?
Just a little, huh?
You can claim them. We claim Americans all the time, so.
Just a little. You know, if it wasn't for Magisk, would they even have a major?
Would they even have a major? No Magisk, no major.
Molly's come through the site. And we're talking about a no utility retake for FaZe. We're talking about a no kill half so far for Twists. But they'll face sight and they'll see nothing because Vitality are just again appropriately leaning back, giving tons of space over. No duels, no freebies for FaZe to try and flex this retake. And with no kits either, they're gonna call it quits. This is a 4-1 early lead for Vitality and a map pick that is looking wonderful so far in the series.
That's very impressive. That's very impressive. And it's been a great tournament for IGLs overall. Whether it was Boomich on Cloud9, did some amazing things as both. He kind of came in as the Nafany, as somebody who was Nafany before Nafany even existed, really. Just to come back and show that he could still play at this level. He was one of the guys who shot ZywOo in the back, flanked him as he fell back out of position, was outplaying the best players on the other side of the server, and made Cloud9 look like they could make it to this grand final. Got close, in fact. Then you have Kerrigan, who has also been pretty damn good 1v4 yesterday versus Complexity. Apex, as you just pointed out, has been fragging, and JT is the #1 out of all of them. An unreal uptick comparatively. So it has been a tournament of fragging IGLs.
Maybe they really are more than dead weight.
what I'm talking about.
You know you love Counter-Strike.
2.
Who doesn't?
In Maui's interview with Magisk, that was, and Kirby, so much interesting insight into IGLs and what they bring. And, oh wait, hold on. Okay, Robs, that's a quick one.
All
Execution,
right.
making it double. He's going home with that. Unscathed. Not even a scrape on the knee. 100 HP for Robs, and he's out with 2 on a rifle.
Yeah, he's trying to strike the fire starter, get himself into a round, get FaZe closer to this early start from Vitality. To do it with a bunch of bodies alive as well. That's what they're banking on. We've seen this before. Vitality responding with the B ramp hit after they lose a couple players. It's the strat from the pistol. Robs just tucked along wall, will die to ZywOo. Flames efficient trade frags, and he is off to the races. An incredible start for the young man.
Okay, 1-on-2 situation. Can plant the bomb. Let's see how much space they give him. They might have to respect this. Flames, eat your heart out. You've got a full minute left over. This could be the difference between domination and destruction here for FaZe. If they could pick this back up and pull back this half. But he's got close to an even chance of being able to change those odds.
At the very start of this event, Apex goes on record as saying, we will not replace Magisk, so the young players have to step up. Flamesy, under the magnifying glass now. At the 25-second mark, he is on the opposite side of the map. And well, FaZe have just found out. So he's gonna have to lean back, bank on this AK, try to hit those headshots. He could have played passive. He still can. Options open with a flash to work with. CTs have the kit on Kerrigan, so his hands will be busy as this retake comes out. Will the trades be good? Will they be needed? He tucks in. And as he sits back, he hears that first tap. Kerrigan, like we said, hands busy all the way, all the way, all the way for Kerrigan. He will clutch and kill.
Wow, the stick out in the open, they cover the ramp. It was planted for both, so we thought, okay, they're probably going to tap it and try to push. That's a fair call to make. There's a part of him that wanted to go back there in the CT spawn. And he went for the standard play. It was still a 1v2. And they're almost lucky to get a bomb plant considering they started this round out 5v3. But I think there was a world where he wins that. Stick just in time there for Kerrigan. Pros do not fake.
Buyback has an MP9 on Twist, and it's a faster pace. We haven't seen this kind of tempo. Flamesy comes around, and with the pressure off the flashbang, FaZe, it's a one-off round potentially queued up.
Yeah, that's a round 1v1.
But a sketchy road ahead. If suddenly they get reset.
They forgot about this.
This one comes down to timing. Brokey strikes a single frag.
Ooh, nice denial out of Flamesy.
I mean, his headshots are there. The trade frags are good. Did the same thing back to the B site, but Rain has that intuition to check for the mid flank, and Spinks' lurk will get punished.
Yeah, it comes in early. That could have been the round done, obviously, if he gets that kill, but now it becomes a lot more tricky here for Vitality.
As they try to group back up, it's an initial peek from Apex that can't even be traded, but that little delay gives Flames a chance to come back.
Yeah.
3 kills on Flames again, and he needs another double to ace. He chases the elevator kill, that's 4. Flames trying to set FaZe on fire, and he's gone. Another chance to just eject out of this bomb site and try to clutch. Lost it in the last one, but he's gone. He is out of there. And as his bomb goes down, it is a very quick approach for Robs on 45 HP.
Oh!
But Robs his head, and that is 2 failed clutches out of Flame.
Wow.
The aim is there, the close is not.
He was nearly the ember that erupted, and instead, he's extinguished. That was so close from Flamesy, but man, you got to feel for him. He's the guy who got 4 kills in that round, plus it turned into another clutch from him. Spinks could have, again, won the round right away, but if he had waited in that situation in a 4-on-3, yeah, he was on a pretty fast timing, but if the attack came in at least a little bit up the ramp, they don't check the flank, then they have a fair trade at the guys coming up the ramp to fight, plus Spinks to come in later. That feels like more of a lock, but good on Rain for checking his flank. There was no one there in mid, they were worried about it, and they didn't get tunnel visioned. And that's something that you can always count on FaZe for. So I think even if they get told instructions, they're still going to keep in their mind an inventory of options that can take place. And they're 5 fingers on one hand.
Sorry, taken.
That was #1 on the things of list that he loves, right?
Yep. ZywOo, what can't you live with, he was asked.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, Counter-Strike, and mango bubble tea.
Not even water.
What is this guy? Molly into smoke exchange towards the B site. As much as we can sit here and sing Flames' praise, 15-4, it's Rops 10-5. Cooling off his opposition, ZywOo, easy opening pick. A little peek out of rain that gets punished. You know, we saw Apex's spray get a little far away from it, kind of sloppy, let the players move around top ramp, but you put ZywOo on the big green scoped up, and no movement comes for free.
5v4 is not enough, though. We've seen Vitality get to a good position early round here in these last couple. FaZe know they can escape, start boosting their economy if they pick up a decent round win, and they have found options to get active on the map.
Like the progressive push here out of Rops, just trying to find his victim as Kerrigan has to lean back. Apex comes around the corner. Oh, and Kerrigan, he can't react to it. Apex tries to go one further, and he will get away with a second frag.
Whoa.
Fragging in-game leaders, folks.
And they caught the flank, so Rops got the kill, but now they know where he is.
Easy for them to turn attention back. Spinks can just anchor this push, and it's just far too daunting for Rops to try to get this going.
Damn.
We saw a single player alive for back-to-back round wins out of FaZe, and now they've lost the next one with 2 standing if they're lucky. There's a chance Vitality can come clear out these players, and then we're talking FaZe with real issues.
This is a moment where, like, just to compare it to another team, when I talk about Heroic and Cadian, where they would make an effort to hunt down the remaining players and absolutely wipe the money clean. That's not Vitality's style. It's more think about our own money first, play very fundamentally sound Counter-Strike, and keep an advantage, never give it away, keep all their utility into the next round, and try to win again from just a slightly more dominant position. So those 2 guns can matter here for FaZe. It's actually their only lifeline now after winning the last 2 rounds in a 1v1. So it looks like the 5v4 is finally add up. I mean, the early and mid rounds is all Vitality. In closing, of course, FaZe are going to pull out some clutches, deny some clutches. They can expect that. I think that's where Apex just wants to say, turn up the velocity. Let's end this round before it gets to a nervous point, past the 40-second mark, 1 or 2 players alive with lethal nades. Let's explode on them.
It's an element of Apex's game that luckily hasn't gone away. There was a time with Vitality's struggles where I would watch Apex and it felt like he had something better to get to. Felt like he needed rounds to end fast and then giving away openings, particularly on Vertigo, towards short side A ramp.
Oh, spamming through the smoke, getting shot
Just
back, yeah.
all the time, taking risks he didn't need to.
No, he's so much more responsible now.
Yes.
And we're talking about that evolution in 1 year, you know? And that's Apex, who was a top 20 player in 2018 as an entry fragger, one of the best players in the world as an individual, had to drop off, learn how to IGL, come back, and is now both an elite IGL and a very reliable individual player.
Particularly at this event. Putting his frags up as there's the peak out of Flames. He gets the better of the B site. We haven't seen early success at a B site. It's been ramp hit, sometimes mid lurk. And now with that instant kill, I mean, those 2 rifles that Twists and Rops are able to save, they're nowhere to be found.
I need to know the conversation around picking Vertigo, right? Because we look at Mezzi's stats on this map, he doesn't even have a good time. Like, even thinking about his maps on Fnatic, just looking at his stats, I would say he would not say this is one of his, and he's 0-6 right now. So
yeah, just like Twists.
Doesn't even like the map, maybe. So whose idea was it? How did they come to this? Obviously, that's something that couldn't be spoiled before the match began. Afterwards, would love to know. So the 2 guns will just get grandfathered into the next round, and oh, you brought up Twist. Yeah, true.
Yeah, sorry, I hate to do that to you.
Yeah, I mean, you are also Canadian, by the way. But
that's true.
Yeah. I always knew the French didn't see themselves as one of us.
Man, I can't believe we are 9 rounds into this game and Flames is sitting at 16-4. I mean, he's gotten entry frags. He's gotten an entire collection of trade frags already.
Oh, yeah.
He could have put 2 clutches to his name within these 16 frags.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about just a total takeover of the server from this young gentleman.
This is a grand final. This is something that Fame's going to remember for the rest of his career, playing this well in a grand final.
And when we think about, of course, what Magisk and Dupree had, it was some of the most winningest careers in the world, right? The history books were full of their names. Flames has only lifted one trophy in his career, back at Gamers 8 early this year. Again, inexperience versus Magisk and Dupree. And on the big stage, the biggest criticism of Flames throughout the start of 2023 with his tenure back on OG was that this kid goes quiet. Instead, he's got the arena silent. Spinks and Flames combine.
I love the third HE. The commitment there, because you can throw 2 and do 90 damage. If you throw 2 perfectly, you do 100. But 3, you could be a little sloppy and still kill him.
So another 5v4.
And that's a call out. Brokey's been there a couple of times. Oh, that's noise being made. Kerrigan's probably going to die, I think. Wise, I was only waiting out this timing, but yeah, he's going to miss it, actually. He's going to leave the scope. Kerrigan scoops that up. Oh, wow, I thought for sure he was dead after that drop onto the ramp. This is big for FaZe to bring back this 5v4, and time is against Vitality now, under 50 seconds.
He's sitting on it. He saw the shadow coming, so he kind of jumped the gun.
Shot early.
Now they're on high alert, so Kerrigan getting a little antsy as he sat there on his own.
They heard one above running the rotation into the site. And 35 seconds, still looking composed, but the sands of time starting to fall through.
It's a pack of players on ramp, and that ever-present lurk out of Spinks, which catches Twists for his 7th death with no kills. And then Spinks can even take his sweet time. He'll compromise the backline that is on A. Eventually, Rain's got to try to get out of there.
And this is where Spinks is best served, right? Getting to this point, but not going farther. Robs tries to flank the flanker.
Yeah,
but
a second before Rain gets caught.
He's also got to walk. He's also got to walk, and there's no way to call that out. So Spinks, domineering presence with the 1 kill. I don't think he cared about getting anything else. He knew that he was just going to bleed the time out, the clock. And Vitality, that was great. Shadow's working in their favor, both inside of mid and right there against FaZe on that flank lower.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Now you got to be careful down there. In general, that's not a great place to hold from. Even if we go back to CSGO, when you take bottom ramp control as a CT, you don't want to leave people down there because that big box, people try to stand on top of it. There's no other angles you have to clear, so it's very easy to fight against you. But for Kerrigan, this is a new situation. He just killed Saiwu at an interesting timing, so he thought, all right, maybe if I die here, even if it's a little later, I could take a risk, but it'll be so late that if Ian and I get 1 kill, Rain will do the rest of the work. There won't be enough time for the exact. But Vitality are sort of just in time at every step of the way. And they approach pretty carefully. They didn't just start running right after that frag.
Missed flick out of...
No, it isn't.
Not a miss. Oh my God. All right, bending bullets. Just trying to stop Flames' terror in this first half. So I was going to be looking for sweet revenge versus Kerrigan. Nearly drawing back that 5 versus 4 advantage out of the hands of Vitality last round. But, I mean, FaZe, it's a pistol win, and it's 2 1v1s. That is what makes up this 3-round half so far from them.
This is a very interesting spot for FaZe. Like, look at the map for them. It's just like a brand new complexion at the moment, and a lot of it has to do with Rops.
Trying to peer over smoke, won't get a glance at anything. This consistency in Spinks' top mid lurk, though, Rops is on high alert for it. May have just seen a sliver, but as he tries to chase it, Spinks gets back into the corner.
Oh, so this works badly against FaZe, right? They're actually starting to regroup towards the other side of the map.
Those 2 mid players are going to be locking horns. And as Rops is preoccupied with bodies over on A, this B site is so prime for the taking.
They're going slowly. They're oh no, another punish out of ZywOo, and now they know that FaZe are so scared of this coming in, but look at them, they're actually still on the ramp. They really believe there has to be someone back here.
Rain's at least got a spot to try and hold, but he too falls with nothing. And while Brokey gets flashed off the angle, it's just too many members of Vitality and too tightly knit. The pack and the push from Vitality is unstoppable. ZywOo's gonna get tagged up and Rops will kill 1 at the very least. It's 12th round next, it's money on the line. I mean, this AK could end up being important, but nothing's more important than getting some damn round wins. And Rops, flicks up and kills it. Hold on. Look how far away Spinks is now. Of course, Rops doesn't know. 1v4. We saw it from Rain, we saw it from Brokey, and we could damn well see it right here from Rops. One tap, and the peek out of Spinks. He's got the cover from Green. Rops can't end it this time. Not versus Vitality.
Spinks could have actually given that away. I mean, he was so far from the B site. Rops on the flank did something nearly incredible right there with those 2 kills. All right, let's see it then. Oh,
yes.
Under 5 seconds, you defused the bomb.
Meanwhile, blood spills inside this B site.
Dude, that was a weird round. Like, it seemed like there was a tacit understanding from Vitality that they knew they were FaZe were flanking, they were coming to reclear A ramp, they were totally scared about B, but they never wanted to take it. So there kept becoming these opportunities for them to get back into this.
Yeah, Rain sets up Kerrigan wonderfully. So Kerrigan and ZywOo going back and forth, but we've seen the response that comes out of Vitality when they lose that A hit. It's the B attack again.
Man, I love FaZe's comfort here to try to push down B at the same time as A, even though they got what they wanted. They're looking for the 5v3.
This could be a big one for Rops. We haven't seen a player in this position.
It gets scary for him, though. He could get spammed.
Oh, he at least gets burned out, dropped to 23, but he escapes, at least around the corner. He's got 2 teammates to keep him standing. Leaning on their shoulders.
Wow.
Flames takes off the heads. Goes back for second servings and just disengages. That is a 20-kill half from Flames at least. Rain will slide forward and clear Apex off the corner into the 3v3 as FaZe continue to just try and get something, a hope, a chance. And there's Mezzy, his first 2 kills of this map. Finally a little impact from the Brit. Brokey taxed to clutch yet again. And you can see the odds so incredibly to Vitality's favor. They decided to take Inferno out of this series, but maybe Vertigo will be the bane of their existence. Brokey looking for an entry, looking for a jump, and as he gets into it, Spinks will waste no time. This is a Vitality that's not playing games. They are making a sprint for the crown.
What's going on, CS Money fans? We're about to have some fun with the e-cosplay. And it's here at the Blast Premier Fall Finals where I'm expecting these guys to make themselves a cosplay of a CS skin. Amongst all this stuff on the table, whoever goes first gets the most picks of stuff. Whoever goes last, unlucky, you're left over with the scraps. Good luck, have fun. Okay, first up is you, Maui. What are we going for?
So I'm gonna be the Empress AK.
Yes, okay.
We've got a crown already here. This is a perfect red for it.
What are we going for here,
We're going
Freya?
for the monkey business. Love bananas.
Always last. Pimp, what do you see on this table of where you think, I want to make this skin?
We are time restricted right now, James.
No, I don't believe that.
Well,
Take your
I
time.
am time restricted. I
Why?
don't want to be here anymore. So what I'm
wow.
going to do is I'm going to speed run this.
Okay, we're gonna put that on because it's just like the butt of the gun or the hilt of the gun. I don't know.
I'd like to get you involved with this, James. I'd like you to blow up this banana whilst I do some artwork.
We're gonna put this on. This is the crown.
I can't do this.
Like, pinch it.
I think a lot of people will resonate with what I'm doing.
I think it's diamonds technically that are on the Empress.
We're working with what we've got.
I'm gonna stick these onto the shoulders.
I'm going to put on this shirt.
Oh, maybe one of these. I'll try to put paint.
Why is there brown coming on? Oh, the end part.
And I haven't said what I'm doing yet, right?
No, I don't know what this is.
This is a beautiful
spreading
skin.
well.
I think I'm gonna use all that paint.
There is a little circle at the bottom of the handle which says 5-7 on it.
I'm gonna tape this to myself.
I think we only have glue.
Pretty sure that everyone out there has opened quite a few of these.
Where are you going to put the banana?
I'm gonna tape it on.
I'm terrified this is gonna get on my sweater.
Pose, yep. We're happy with that?
Yeah, I'm very happy.
I'm done.
That is it. That is all your effort you're putting into this. A sand dune.
A cheap sand dune.
So now we have our 3 designs for the skins here. Creativity, looks, and effort put into it. Effort and creativity, 0 for you, Pimp. But looks, because you look so good where you're wearing your shirt, we'll give you an 8 for that. Failure is your middle name, so
Move on.
Freya. Creativity, I'll give you a 7.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Effort, you're only getting a 3. The look is very creative, so I'll give you 7 on that.
17, I'll take it.
Yeah. You, the crown just fits you so well, so
As it does.
we'll say a 7 for that. For the look and the feel, I think we deserve an 8. Effort that you put into it, all right, I'll give you 5 more on top then.
Okay.
He did bribe me a little bit. Thank you so much. Maui's the winner overall here. These guys did their best. They put some effort in for sure. But you guys at home, I know you can do better. Use the hashtag #ecosplay and show me if you can make a sick skin and maybe make yourself into better than any of these 3 bugs. You can win yourself a very expensive skin. Go check it out. Good luck. Show me what you got.
We jump back to the server with Twist still sitting on 0 frags throughout this map.
Ooh.
This is an unexpected turn of events out of FaZe, but
it's also an unexpected map.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Maybe so because we find ourselves on Vertigo. Their confidence in all 7 pools has been tested this evening to start this series. But if we look at the match streak that FaZe are on at the moment, they have lost a map in the majority of those matches. 10 of those matches within the streak always feature FaZe going to a third. Now, a beating of this level, a whooping 9-3 half to kick off Vertigo. This could be a whole other test of the mental.
And you could say that this is a curveball, but FaZe are supposed to be a 7-map team.
So they claim.
Oh, that's a good player to get down low.
Oh, through the wood.
Whoa,
a bunch of damage.
To help the kills. 2 more for Flames.
How does he manage to get himself into every fight? And then Mezzi given a chance to lock it down. That's a full house on the B site. Just a slaughter of FaZe on the approach.
Dude, this is going to be a career best map for Flamesy.
No doubt.
22-6.
Unreal.
This
Look at
is stepping on the gas right now. That's unreal. He was down to 3 health before that happened. You know, Apex's going to pick him up after the map's over. Man, and we started this out round 2 after FaZe won the pistol with Vitality winning with a bias very similar to this. It's actually astounding to pull that off on T-side Vertigo. What the hell?
So having to concede this one, giving themselves a singular chance to keep Vitality off of 12 rounds with the bye that'll come in the next. Could be bolstered by a bomb plant. We saw Vitality pull it off with basically Glocks, but those nades find their home. Rain blown apart. Pressure goes down the ramp to confirm there's nothing else. Mezzi could be tested. And again, a bomb plant here is a slight win for FaZe. But he leans back, allows them to get ever closer. Gets his first few kills in the final round of the first half. More than doubles it in the following pistol, and Mezzi's just gonna go ahead to rip 2 players off the push. There's another one on the box and he's dead. This is Vitality to 11.
Wow.
And FaZe still in shambles.
There's so many interesting storylines first half of the year, second half of the year. Players, IGLs who are both playing well, who have done a lot and evolved. Star players who are getting back into the comfort zone. Rob's becoming the best player in CS2. And Spinks as well, who has just continued on in his form. He has been completely consistent throughout the year, ever since Rio took place. IEM Rio, I should say. And has never left ZywOo's side since then. And he is, like, Robs and Spinks are the best examples of traditional lurkers, classic in their roles. But Spinks is even more of a purist than Robs is in terms of how hard his lurks are every single round. And that style of play, people thought was going to disappear after early days Get Right era, into Happy, into some players who are known for it, doing it every round. But they've actually brought it back in a modern day of CS when demos are being watched, like demos are being parsed, you know, and by the dozens at the same time to figure out what kind of rotations you make. He's still pulling that off today.
Coaches, analysts, assistant analysts.
Yeah.
So many eyes on every single one of your moves inside the server, and those moves could be coming to a quick end. Remember, the 1 gun round FaZe have to work with, and it's gonna need to be Kerrigan to at least get some pressure off A. But he can't manage that second frag. Apex pulls back with the M4, and he lays down lead, lays down the law. Vitality will not fumble inside sight. Apex will not be bested, will not be moved. And Brokey, the next to falter.
God damn.
12-3 from Vitality. We could sit here and praise FaZe and their ability to come back map after map.
Yeah.
This is the biggest test that their streak has seen.
Well, at least they won't have to stew in it. This map could be over soon. And they could talk about how they didn't expect me to veto. It's fine, we're going to move on to the next map. But this is a feather in the cap of Vitality, and for Apex as the captain to see himself playing well, as well as seeing one of his young guns play this well in a grand final in front of the biggest crowd so far that he's played. He'll be a proud, proud man.
Final chance for Neo to get in. The last time FaZe as an organization won a trophy here in the Royal Arena, Neo was inside the server.
That's nuts.
Trying to tap into that legacy here.
I think Coldzera was the IGL, but we later found out it was Nico.
Oh, okay.
Respect for supporting them when they're down. That's when they need it the most. The triple Galil play. And the energy they've kept all the way through CS2 is we're only X number of rounds down. They've only got 9. It's one of the biggest comebacks that they have to make, but I think one foot in front of the other is the strat. I really, this is one of the teams we're not going to write off in this situation. We could just sing Vitality's praises because god damn, what a start to the day. But I don't think they're going to be any less focused just because they're on 12th.
Just the perfect moment for Flames to put forth an astronomical amount of kills. Nade early as well towards middle, just a warning sign of the defense that is in position. Spinks, well, doesn't even get a chance to shoot because ZywOo just rocks him. And then Spinks will pull off Brokey. Mezzi over towards B. This is a cataclysmic failure on the behalf of FaZe. A map that we don't know them for, but a map that they will want to forget as fast as possible. Vitality have shown up tonight, and Vitality will find themselves one map from hoisting a trophy in the Royal Arena. Don't go far, the grand finals starts next.
And we thought this was a risk to pick Vertigo. I thought this was a curveball, a shenanigan. It turns out Vitality have proved mastery on this side. So much in control with the rhythm, the mid-round, the calls. If it were for a couple of clutches, this was beautiful from Vitality.
That was a bit of a surprise. The pick in itself coming into this matchup surprised us a little bit. First time we ever get to see them played with Messi on the lineup. But as you said, the tenacity coming out from Vitality, the control, the pacing, the calling from Apex as well. And then, of course, some individual performances that we're going to highlight throughout this segment. This map had everything Vitality needed to be the perfect start inside Royal Arena.
And sometimes in a match like this, you need a good start. You need something to kickstart that fire within yourself. And this is what happened in round 2. We're talking about a Vitality who merely update pistols, not even Kevlar on site, and still it's about to work out for them.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You look at the round 2, and you see the buy coming into it. You'd think to yourself that this is a perfect opportunity for FaZe Clan to get off to a good start, but they wanted it differently, and it spears out of control. From round 2, you're seeing right now into the meta, we're looking at a Vitality that just straight up dominates the following rounds, straight up dominates the T side. You spoke about Apex calling. It was absolutely beautiful. You see Twist in this position. There's only so much he can do, left by himself, and at this point, honestly, I didn't think it would be Vitality just controlling the T side. But as you can see in the round distribution, that was the case.
These were already the first signs of a couple complications that FaZe had on the defense. But they played the way Flames played, FaZe played rather, very aggressive, very in your face. But they opened gaps, they opened duels. And you know who loved to take these goddamn duels? Flames. What an incredible way to kickstart the grand final, to have a 23+ map kill here in Copenhagen. This was fantastic from Flames.
That is one of the most impactful T-sides Vertigo I've ever seen anyone play. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Sure, you may say that the game wasn't that close, and this clutch he could technically have won it well, but apart from that, he played a picture-perfect first half. You said it. He was willing to fight constantly. He was willing to go for the duels constantly. He was willing to create all the space needed, and honestly speaking, he was the only one needed for Vitality. He was single-handedly demanding respect on the server, single-handedly dictating rounds after round after round after round.
Oh my God.
Some of the best I've ever seen from Flames.
Look at all of these entries he was finding on B. And you mentioned clutch, Jacob, and I think we should take a second to consider. He missed the mark 2 clutches almost back-to-back. We're talking about a 1 versus 2 where Kerrigan pulls on the full defuse, and a 1 versus 1 against Robs where he sort of mismanages the angles, mismanages the timing. And this would have been enough to crush down a young Spirit. Many other players would have went back to the shelter after losing clutches like that, but not Flames. All that momentum that he built on at the beginning of this game came shining through, and he just poured it on them.
If you're Apex, you must love it, right? They came into this tournament, they came into the fact they lost Magic, and he said something along the lines of, someone else will have to step it up a bit. We cannot replace Magic. You can't replace one of the best players in his role ever. Messi's gonna do his absolute best, but a player that stepped it up and helped out the man on your screen right here was definitely FlameC, taking more responsibility, dictating the game, coming in and playing the best he's ever played on a big stage. I absolutely love to see it.
And we have to say from an individual standpoint as well, which is always going to be the way in for FaZe, not a whole lot of people stepped up. It was merely the Robs show here.
Yeah.
Robs were here. Robs had a couple of moments where he's shown he had a few movements in the map, a few incursions as well, which we know he's good at. But this was about it. It was really only Robs.
You're telling me Vitality would win 13-3 like this without even breaking a sweat, and we haven't mentioned ZywOo at all? He wasn't even. Sure, Robs put on a bit of a fight and tried his absolute best, but it speaks volumes that we cannot highlight anyone else from the side of FaZe.
Right.
In this game, no one showed up. No one from the side of FaZe showed up, and that's what we've been praising them for. Surely they're not playing the most clinical Counter-Strike. They're not playing the best of the best Counter-Strike team composition-wise, but we always praise them for having the individuals that will always show up, whether it being Robs, Twist, Brokey for that matter. None of them did this game.
I mean, Vitality did a superb job at avoiding Robs. I think this is what it was about for them, to not give this guy the ability to multi-kill you. They went around him, they forced him to move. It just wasn't enough for FaZe, right?
It wasn't enough. There was nothing they could do about it. Nothing they could do about it. And it scares me a little bit. When you're looking at Vitality, you're looking at a ZywOo. We haven't mentioned his name. They're still dominating the game. And you guess what happened yesterday on Nuke for FaZe Clan? Well, they lost to Complexity. So this match is all of a sudden up in the air.
But both teams have shown weaknesses in Copenhagen on Nuke, but now it's time to regather your strength. It's time for us to gather our strength as well. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when we come back, we dive back into Nuke, the second map of this grand final here at Blast 4 Final.
be lightning fast on the map of Vertigo, speedrunning us straight on into Nuke. And this is where things get a little bit complicated, because sure, it's the pick of FaZe coming into things, and you look at their win record recently, and it looks pretty damn good. But I want to remind you of the game versus Complexity yesterday, Matthew. Has that set any alarm bells off in your head for FaZe? Anything you want to see them improving coming into it this time?
I think both the Nuke against Complexity and this Vertigo against Vitality have shown me a side of FaZe to which we were not accustomed to for quite a while now, which is to FaZe to just roll over and basically get blasted out of the server. That worries me a tad for FaZe. We know they have the resilience, we know they have the backbone to bounce back, they've done it on multiple occasions, but no, I don't think we should be too happy for them. It's a complicated position to be in and reaction is needed.
Yeah, I think the reason why I'm worried is the fashion they lost Nuke yesterday to Complexity. The first 8 rounds was back-to-back team switching rounds. No one could win 2 in a row. It was force buy after force buy after force buy, and that is unlike FaZe Clan. You look at a guy like Kerrigan, yeah, maybe it happens once, maybe it happens twice in a game, but sure as not 3, 4, or 5 times which it did. So the fashion they were losing in yesterday, the fashion they couldn't control that game at any point against Complexity, that's a little bit worrisome for me, because Vitality is a better team, on paper at least.
And you mentioned Vitality, and let me make it very clear. Complacency is going to be their biggest enemy when it comes to this map 2. You've just had the easiest of time on map 1, and I will insist on this. Flame's performance has lifted any kind of pressure on anybody's shoulders.
Yes.
Because there is no need to be strong mentally when you have a young rookie like that who pops off and gets 23 kills. But that's where it gets dangerous. What if the game gets messy? What if it gets tough? What if ZywOo has to show up? What if Spinks has to show up? That curse, that responsibility is still on everybody. Do not think for a second that Flame is going to give you that performance again. Everyone's got to be ready.
No, I agree with you, and I fully agree with you, because it was only FlameC showing up, but you just gave me the answer. What if Flames is not showing up? Well, then you got Spinks, one of the best rifles out there. Then you got ZywOo, arguably the best player the past 2 years. So there's still a lot of strings to play off if you're Vitality. If I'm FaZe right now, I would be a little bit worried. I agree with what you're saying, right? It's the fashion they've been losing in that shows a different side of FaZe we haven't seen the past month in Counter-Strike 2. So I'm not saying they can't claim their way back to it, because we've seen it time and time again. The second you count them out, that's when they come back, but I'm worried. I'm gonna be honest.
I want to raise you, the CT start from Vitality. That's the side that they've chosen to start on coming into FaZe's pick. And that's where I feel like there's obviously going to be still areas of uncomfort, because Mezzy is slotting in position for where Magic's used to play, and that's a very important area of the map to be holding down.
And it's a very systematical issue that they have, because we're not only just pointing at Mezzy and saying, you're not doing enough, which you could argue, player for player, of course, isn't contributing as much as Magisk was. But the problem is how coherent the defense is compared to the rotations that you have to put through. We've seen Vitality time and time again be completely lost when people go down secret. The B-side rotation is messy as hell. It's disgusting to watch. I really hope that they had conversations about, guys, what are our protocols when this player A has to go down, player B has to take his spot. It's like a chess game. They have been outmatched by opponents time and time again. This is the moment to prove to me and to everybody that you learn from these mistakes.
If I'm a viewer at home, I'm looking towards Messi on ramp. He's going to be tested a lot by Kerrigan. That must be part of the game plan. Surely. I'm also looking towards Apex, because he's the guy that is supposed to help him a little bit with the rotation going lower bomb side. We saw ZywOo being caught off a couple of times in the game in this tournament. We saw Apex doing the same thing. And Messi is not feeling comfortable just yet. He's not the difference maker on the server he used to be in Fnatic. He's still being integrated. So if you're FaZe Clan, apply pressure. See if you can break them straight off the bat on that CT side towards ramp, towards the lower bomb side.
And that's something that we know Kerrigan is going to be pulling out, particularly on that T side, right? He is not afraid to be switching up the pace and trying to catch you off guard if you're on the defense.
Yeah, definitely, because he knows that whenever they can get a couple of trades and slow down the pace, he's got players who are very comfortable in these areas of game. Talk about Robs and the late lurk that he can have against the likes of Messi on ramp. Talk about Rain and the space that he will allow himself to take outside. If Vitality get pushed to the late round 3 versus 3, I will give FaZe the edge. I think they're better equipped to deal with it. So what Vitality need, and what we haven't seen so far on Nuke, is multi-kills. You need multi-kills to put you in a position where you just have to checkmate your opponent. You just have to get defensive positions and close the rounds. If you 1-for-1 and you've been stressed out, I think FaZe, they can definitely push us to a third.
They can push us to a third, but I will say there's also a bit of weaknesses within the FaZe Clan. We spoke about the performance here on Nuke yesterday against Complexity, more so the individuals not showing up. That's an issue to me. We know Kerrigan and Twist are the two players defending the inner bomb side. If you're Vitality, where do you want to go look out for? Kerrigan, not known to be the player who can shut that down by himself. Twist, you can normally rely on. He had an abysmal game on Vertigo. So if I'm Vitality right now, if I'm Apex, I'm looking towards that thinking that's a weakling. That's something we got to test. That's something we're going to see if Twist Twist is still having a rough one. Otherwise, that could be it, right? So we rely a lot on the individuals in FaZe Clan. They gotta step up.
I love that you say that. I still believe it's a little bit of a coin flip. If you're in Apex's mind right now and your game plan is to bomb rush that A side, hoping that Twist isn't activated, isn't online, and he turns out on you with a multi-kill on first round, you might have just given him basically the key to your hotel room. You're giving him the key to the castle. He's back in the game. So you have to be sure that you want to tease the dragon. If he wakes up, you're in trouble.
Well, gentlemen, it is time to continue the action of this grand final. Potentially a chance for Vitality to take this one into and put an end to that FaZe streak and Karrigan's dreams of lifting a trophy on home soil. It is time to get into Nuke.
Second map set to begin, that's right. We've got Nuke up next. We've got FaZe's win streak on the line. We've got Karrigan's hopes and dreams of hosting a trophy here inside the Royal Arena one last time. We saw Heroic do it last year, but what we just witnessed on Vertigo was a total masterclass from Vitality. It felt like FaZe finally have their hands full. It's been an absolute pleasure, Copenhagen, to call these matches here in the Royal Arena, but this is Blast's last time in this venue. I know what you have in store for us. I know that you can get rowdy. So Copenhagen, let me hear you roar!
It's a great life to be a CS caster.
It's a dream come true.
It's wonderful with crowds like this. And a map like Nuke coming in with a team like FaZe to defend against Vitality.
Spinks close. Ooh, Brokey instant. Single bullet, dead. Up in the rafters, Apex and Flames combining on the site. These dual Berettas won't find anything further, and Rops is able to just flick one up to take man advantage FaZe. Then they hear that. They heard that. Brokey's on high alert.
Yeah, that was loud, but you know what's important? He got up.
And what do you do about this? He has no gun out, but Brokey doesn't take the chance. He's just throwing a wrench in the works. You see the panic out of Mezzi.
But he's handing the info over.
And he ran that. He's gone.
Yeah. So this is confirmed for Mezzi.
The same way that Mezzi gave info over to Brokey, Brokey gave it right back to ZywOo. Now ZywOo's got options. That nade doesn't quite find its mark. Man advantage for FaZe on a difficult T side versus a team that just cleaned them up.
I don't think they know.
ZywOo close. Brokey shoots, and then ZywOo is able to strike him down, looking for more. He's gonna slay both on the bomb site, fight towards main. Rops will make the difference. We've got Mezzi to drop. A lot of pressure for a player who's been struggling to get any kills, let alone a very critical clutch. Oh! But a flick out of Mezzi!
On the jump spot. There's no way. Versus Rops of all people.
That's a lizard flick. That is an ancestral part of the UK brain that just snaps to the head.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Elizabeth would have been proud. ZywOo tries his damnedest with the 2.
Oh!
What? Woo! On the way down, crash and burn.
Versus Rops, you know he's going to jump spot that so perfectly every time. That was his one chance. 10 seconds to defuse. As he goes down a hero for that one. ZywOo started out, though, with those 2 frags on that big flank. And he was so close to death with Brokey coming up right behind him on that ladder as well. And Mezzi coming in to replace Magisk inside of the ramp. Now, I actually think that this is one of the positions where I sort of wondered if Vitality could improve on the ramp. Magisk sometimes committed very heavily towards fights, and this map on CT side was incredible for Vitality overall, so there's still big shoes to fill, but that's to say that Mezzi maybe could add something, his own flavor if he's feeling comfortable enough.
Quick scramble, though. Karrigan's made a ton of space, and then he even dodges the single door peek. Look at the way he's gotten up into control. While Twist serves up the distraction from ramp, ZywOo's now got his hands full. But he'll flick over. He'll kill them all. A tap out of the USP to make sure FaZe stayed down.
Such a good slip through from ZywOo to get to the backside. Knowing that control door was open, he could have risked fighting Karrigan, but think about that, the inventory of control right there. He lets control get taken because he knows Mezzi is up inside control, ready to fight. He knows he's gonna have fights versus ramp first. And he could have stuck in the door and played it very safe, but he committed properly. That's a great move. It's Mezzi and ZywOo complimenting each other once again. The English and the French still have a chance, Connor.
Yeah, we're trying to, you know, bridge that gap.
Yeah.
It's an uphill battle, but we're trying. Apex spotting a little contact outer. At least that it's not horrendous.
That's
still
actually
not ideal.
Yeah, there's a nice tell for them with the one smoke first, knowing they're going to get close to it. Wait till it's prim and proper. Throw the second one and cross. So they could chip down a touch, but the map control is great. And Mezzi, I knew they would be trying to attack him because we saw a bad map from him on ramp.
A weak link.
Yes.
Apex activates from the back of Garage. He'll make sure Kerrigan's out of this one. So double man advantage for Vitality, but they do have Mezzi in the open, toying with him off the double door. Where's the split? Where's the help? It doesn't come. Brain's then cleaned out by ZywOo, who's toppled by Twist on the backside. Twist has to have a better map than he did on Vertigo. That was atrocious. And he gets off of the bomb site pretty quick. They both split, change positions, looking to take it down into an even fight, but that's not gonna happen.
Oh, could have been 2-on-2.
It's Van Dalken up next.
Twist versus everyone.
He's just wiggled his way out of the bomb site. They've completely lost track of him for the time being. He knows there's one still up towards ramp, but where and when does he get a chance to strike? It's an easy kill to Apex, but he can't strike Spinks as the swing comes through, and Vitality's 3-0 start is strong.
And they immediately fan out to the defuse. They kill Twist at the same time. There was a chance it could have got stuck anyway, but that could have been a round one for Twist. And I think you're right, he needed it, but Vertigo was not a great showing. Already looking a lot better though on Nuke, and Vertigo, we don't know until after the match is over how much that really caught FaZe off guard. But we can see, I think, by the numbers that it clearly did very much. But if we're talking about reliable traders, it's definitely Spinks. He's got to be number one. ZywOo playing great so far in the final as well. Outshone a little bit by the fact that Flamesy, of course, I mean, he was shining the brightest. There was no way to have a bigger flame than that. And, oh, okay.
Maybe heebie-jeebies with headshots like that.
Okay. That's a really big find.
Otherwise, trying to cross secret fast. And
yeah, that's a big tell in the setup. But neither FaZe weren't ready to attack off that, and Vitality are not totally compromised to defend this, except we see they are underplaying upper right now.
Ooh, Molly on Spinks. That's going to force him up, but good cover out of Brokey. Making sure man advantage doesn't slip away with ease. Flamesy taken off of the rooftops. Chance for ZywOo to at least claw back something.
They're still coming at them outside. This is the best chance to fight back, and he will find a way to.
But he loses so much health. Meanwhile, Rops has been able to slither down to the B site, so a ton of real estate still for FaZe to work with. They've got the bigger picture.
This probably is going to get respected, surely. I mean, these guys have been the dynamic duo, but they're far away now, and ZywOo's so low, so I guess just happy to fight his way out.
Flamesy went so incredibly above and beyond on that first map that we didn't need to lean on ZywOo. The desk mentioned Spinks could pick up slack, and already out of the gate, this time we're getting ZywOo up there. Gunning for an MVP performance. Of course, Spinks has been the player that's been hot on his heels. Spinks is the reason Vitality have looked so good throughout this fall finals. Flamesy drops a bomb out of nowhere in that last map, and suddenly this is a real beast. The FaZe will answer early. Now they can't have what was done to them like yesterday. 9 rounds back and forth versus Complexity made this map look like a pain point for FaZe. They were never in it, didn't even look capable of stopping the North Americans, let alone Vitality. But a lot of that hinged on economy, back and forth, and limitations outside of individual levels. Avoid that, they will improve their score from last night.
A popular map from FaZe to try to run it down on Nuke over and over again, and Rain is the focus when it comes to outside. A lot on CT, and that's Flames and Mezzi going down. That's right, they turn the steam up all the way. And we've got Kerrigan back here, actually. Wait, he's separated from his teammates right now, and guess what he has on his back?
Maybe that all-important bomb. So this is gonna be a little sketchy. Feels like Kerrigan's kind of on his own mission, but he can also just sit there and wait and allow for his teammates to be freed up. You don't need to plant if they're all dead, and at this point, they essentially are. Spinks, he's caught. Yeah, the measly 6 health for Apex, who's been found out and stranded towards ramp, cleared. Kerrigan's issue, not a problem.
Yeah, that maybe gave him more chances to try to fight back into it, because they were wondering, why are they fighting us upstairs? They pretty much won the round already. Just let us save. But now they wipe out all exits, too. Just another Kerrigan master plan, of course. But these are moments where Mezzi has to turn up, and you can't die holding the ramp like that. You can do damage and fall off. You can do no damage and fall off, but you can't die without your kill. That's the worst case situation.
How much damage can ZywOo truly do with just that one M4? It's cool to see Vitality come in with some kind of an investment, but they flubbed the initial boost. And that delay in the boost, I mean, maybe that would have been a fair fight. But Rain just doing work from the top of that silo.
Yeah.
Not the first round he's found opening kills.
Yeah.
Apex included twice.
And we look back on Antwerp at what I think is maybe one of the best nuke performances of all time from Rain. See ya. T-side, CT side. There's a feast shot off. It is about Rain fighting outside, controlling it T-side. And on the CT side, roaming alone.
Still boggles my mind that since the inception of FaZe Clan in CSGO, we have had Rain sitting on this roster. Feels like things change in Counter-Strike so quickly, but if one thing remains the same,
it's
FaZe
Rain.
Rain.
Yeah, FaZe Rain. Was one of the people who absolutely doubted him in 2020. Things were looking bleak. And then the pull back all the way to Antwerp, and as soon as he got back to LAN,
exactly,
so was Rain.
Yeah, it felt like the online era could have been the end of a few of these players. You know, somebody like Olaf, who's been playing just as long, comes forward. Lack of motivation, just doesn't feel the same and a fizzle out. Not Rain, though.
Flush is saying he didn't know what tournament he was playing in sometimes.
Meanwhile, Rain still has MVPs in his back pocket. We get guns back up. Vitality trying to respond to this streak of FaZe rounds early on. 50% of the way through this first half. This defense certainly needs more. Not just in round wins, but at this point, utility. We're down to a single smoke, 2 flashes for the defense, and just this entire bomb site blanketed in fire.
Yeah, that's working. Look, they said dance. Flames is jumping around. Molly's everywhere. Down to 25 HP. Bargain basics.
Deep wall of
low
smokes
util. Oh, and the outside smokes at 110. That is tough to have to stomach. We can see that Apex position ready to catch a lurk. Mezzi here to try to do some damage outside, but the cross is open for now. He can, whoa, and they actually did try to catch this. They had 3 people ready, though, to fight this specific duel. Mezzi knows now, maybe they could be coming my direction. And that's the bomb, but
Rain managed to get down secret, but
are they maybe gonna go upper?
Options open at 40 seconds.
It looks like they're trying to get a kill first. Finally, they'll drop. They can't ignore the amount of map control that Rain has taken, even though spotted.
Flames leads on low health, looking to be traded. Rain gonna make sure they both go down. No chance. It's gonna take Apex on the Thomas to answer. Looks like cover for the bomb at the 20-second mark. Off the line, Brokey bullet sailing over top. But Rops, he has been waiting, and he will peek to kill Mezzi on the approach. Cuts off one end of this potential retake split. Apex has to wait, and it's not even a real chance for ZywOo to come through with this. So taking their time, slowly but surely. And I thought when Apex was deep on Garage, not shooting at main, that maybe Rain being heard underneath him could have fueled Vitality to a rock-solid B hold. Not the case.
Yeah.
It's Rain in control.
I wonder if there's some redundancy there. We had Apex behind the smokes in Elige waiting for someone to push through into Big Garage, but we also had Spinks, who was the one who got the kill for somebody who lurked through the smoke. Could Apex have used that opportunity to go and try to double up with Mezzi? In that rotation, that's where they needed the most help, and we're seeing that FaZe are trying to get to him, whether or not it's in the beginning of the round or later. Now, Kerrigan calls in a very complicated round here, right? It starts with upper pressure and the mollies, into the outside smokes, into the ramp walk, with lurks everywhere. So it's a very hard one to follow. But I think they did get what they were searching for, and that was confusing the CTs. And weakening the ramp, ultimately, was the goal. And money's just been very bad here for Vitality, so down 4-3 on 2 guns.
Rain's been very successful in cracking heads off Silo, but there it is again.
Dude, what the hell? How accurate is the AK from that distance?
It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Depends if Rain's holding it or not. That is so insane. Looking for another. Yeah, why not? He's on a tear with these bursts.
Meanwhile, we get a crossover towards red. We've got a lot of CTs here to stop it. Even if it's just the Deagle of Spinks, it sets up Apex perfectly. Little flick shot missed out of Brokey. Rain's gonna keep on gunning him down. And as another member comes out from that smoke, he fights and he gets shot right back. Watson Rain for all 5.
Okay. Wow, maybe we get a classic performance, grand finals performance out of Rain. Kerrigan wears the Batman mask, but when they need him, Rain's also a superhero. FaZe saying this absolutely will not end in 2 as they pick up 5 straight. Copying and pasting this position top silo. Look who's below.
This time it's Kerrigan up top. Apex on the retreat with the pressure bottom silos. Got to make sure that he doesn't expose himself to Kerrigan.
This was a play that they used to do with Magisk. Now using Apex up front.
It works. Spinks able to push through Hut. There's an answer set up by Vitality. It's not just Apex trying to fill Magisk's shoes, but layers, and those layers take to the top.
They can't know. Oh, that timing is insane.
What can Spinks get up to from here?
Wait, what?
But I mean, yeah, okay, he has the, I mean, where would you rather be? Inside of the A site or sitting up on T roof doing absolutely nothing?
Oh, there was just no one here watching for the Hut exit. There's an op that's now useless basically into this round, and a chance actually for FaZe to crush even in the exits. Spinks found an unbelievable timing, but maybe he was better off going upstairs. How could you predict that, however?
Even then he sees a player out on garage, can't do anything about it. Rain's just gonna lean back.
That's the crazy thing about FaZe, right? Like, they could have been going outside late, coming back into lobby late like that. There's no way for Spinks to figure out what's coming up next.
Yes, I mean,
they're just bringing you a new round every time.
Single kill inside a Hut from Spinks to Vitality feels like an amazing setup. They think they have the wool pulled over the eyes of FaZe, but instead, FaZe just creep into the A site, plant bomb, and close it, keeping the pressure as high as possible on Vitality. Again, Vitality are not the first team to take a map off of FaZe in CS2. The majority of their best of 3s go to that third decider.
They like to get beat up a little bit before they win.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Connor relates.
It's just the nature of Vertigo that really, I think, put fear in the hearts of FaZe fans. But again, it's Vertigo of all maps. If there's any map in the world that FaZe are supposed to get blown out on, and who are you to question the resilience of FaZe?
Taking answers.
He's moving. Adaptation out of ZywOo, but a response in the form of Brokey. Up close, Brokey's op shines bright. Twist deep with the headshot. And that's going to keep Twists positive. Something he certainly wasn't across the first.
Oh, and it's like clockwork here.
Smokes fade out, man advantage held on to by FaZe as they're on fire.
They take this pressure outside, they pull Mezzi back out of the ramp, they look to maybe attack upper, but they keep options wide open, can drop secret. Impossible situation to synthesize for Vitality, and then they fall and they die. Their rotator now inside of the ramp, they know he's almost always alone. And Flames, as the second last player, looking to do anything, happy to take a 50-50 engagement, ends up getting destroyed. That is Vitality trying to answer the FaZe outer control. Winning on one front, losing on another. They don't get the sequence out of ZywOo. I don't know if there's a flash as he's crossing red, but Brokey's way ahead of it. Gets a much deeper angle after he takes Rain up top. That's a consolation prize. FaZe can afford to try that one more time, see if it works, because they've already got the value they looked for. If Vitality let it happen again, shame on them. If they get the kill, well, we'll trade it back. We can go on to our next level. And wow, FaZe, what a comeback. After 3 rounds, 7 straight. That has got to feel good. These days, you can never tell what's going to happen map to map.
Oh, of course. I like to think MR12 makes things a little spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, FaZe didn't put up that comeback, but it's always possible. But they're not a one-note team in that regard. They don't need to have a bad start and come back. They can also straight up dominate the game from the beginning as well.
This is a team that's seen it all. They've been in every situation.
Yeah. But we're seeing Flamesy die now in pedestrian manners. Inside of Mini, we're seeing Mezzi's rotations get pressure. But there's never been a double up inside of the ramp. You better believe we switch over sides. We get FaZe playing the ramp. They're going to have Brokey ready to fight with Flamesy at the, or sorry, ready to fight with Rops and the ramp at the right times. They're getting away with way too much. I think that Apex, as the second floater outside, sometimes primarily, has to be the one to reinforce all these different positions when he thinks he sees fit. It's going to be him and ZywOo, right?
Yeah, I mean, we see ZywOo be the adaptation.
Yeah.
Pushed out to the red box just last round. Good for him, 1 kill. Out of spawn again with guns. Trying to put up some kind of a defense. What does the T-side have in store?
Sometimes the best way to deal with a problem is to run headfirst into it. You know, if this happened to FaZe over and over again, you better believe they would be double pushing the ramp.
No doubt in my mind.
Getting the trophy control, and then forgetting about it. We haven't seen that once from Vitality.
Just looking a little stunned at the moment, but listen, this will help. Apex as far back as possible. Oh no, it's an assist. It's ZywOo up from heaven, in fact, that gets the kill. And they'll tether nicely. From heaven and hell, we get 2 engagements versus FaZe.
Here comes the reinforcements, kind of right on time. Now, will they keep it going, however? They're 5v3. They could get complacent and still win.
FaZe getting a little rowdy outside, pushing through those smoke grenades, thinking they're going to catch the defense off.
This would be such a FaZe moment if they won this round.
Well, we know they love a 1v4.
Yeah.
The destroyers of North America. 3v5 is what it would take to keep this streak going within Nuke. This T-side still on fire. 2 rounds left to unfold. And Apex, well, he's going to be the first one, but it's just so costly for Twists in that duel. Down to 11 HP means now they need something else from Rops and Brokey. More pressure on those two's shoulders. Speaking of pressure, time now starts to add that little extra edge to FaZe. Your options limited, but with this smoke, there's an uncertainty for Mezzi, and we said maybe he would get targeted as this map went on. Maybe his underperformances could be an issue for the defense. He will sit behind that smoke with no information. Flamesy reveals himself with just the SMG. Brokey's now gonna be too busy, and Vitality will lock this down. Yes, sir. ZywOo comes through, 3 kills and the assist. He is the difference maker to get at least 1 more for the defense.
Yeah, the spearhead, and he comes in as a closer as well. All points in the round. He had that barrel down the necks of FaZe, defending his teammates at each choke point, in the mix, every single step of the way. And he's somebody I haven't worried about so far in this map. It's pretty much the new guys. It's been sort of the rotations. I wonder if Apex could do more to call. He's got a lot more young blood in here, but if Mezzi needs assistance too, it's on him to ask for it. And he asked for an op, actually, so that's that does take the edge off the rotation. You double up on the CT side of Nuke, and then you need to rotate less.
Flame's gonna slide in. He's in the exact same position just last round to close it off the nade. He gets nothing. Twists, heads up, wins the duel. ZywOo trying to find his, but the fire keeps him back. He'll be out of this hold, if there is one, outside for Vitality. A one-off round, not looking likely as ZywOo and Apex hold it yet again. We get a slip out from Squeaky with an empty weapon. Spinks still adds a kill to the tally, but Twist is in the middle of what's remaining of Vitality. And Mezzi, with that op up in heaven, is just gonna try to inch out. Twists missed the first one, but he at least has the whole picture clearly in his mind. He's got the bomb to boot.
Fall back covered.
They don't know which way he's gonna go. It's for that reason that he's been cut off on one end, but with the heaven on fire, Mezzi cannot press out, so Twist has created this chance for himself to pull off the clutch, but ZywOo's had enough, sits him down, and Vitality CT side truly alive. A little bit of an uptick, a response in the face of a FaZe streak, and their own T side up next.
Oh, okay, this one will be interesting. Who is your 2023 Player of the Year? I'll start with you, Shush.
I mean, obviously, Robs has been playing fucking insane.
I was going to say, I think this guy gets my vote.
It's quite obvious.
Yeah.
But usually it's an AWP player, so it's quite interesting. It's
that's kind of what I was going with the question earlier. Is like, it feels like riflers are getting a lot more of the conversation in terms of the star players right now. Do you think that's because of the kind of swinging mechanic, or the fact the AWP has been nerfed, like, or a mixture of the two? Like, is there anything or any insight you think as to why that might be?
I don't think there's one specific thing. It's definitely just everything in which adds up to it. I think like the map design, first of all, and like the new grenades, smoke grenades, and there's like a lot of flashes which were set in CSGO, which were, you know, getting AWPers off the angles, are now like removed.
2023, who's the best player this year?
I think the best rifle for me, Robson. Best player, I think, CEST.
Yeah, solid answers. That's what everyone's saying.
For me, it's Robs, I think.
Robs, I think, like in CS2, I think that's hands down. It's difficult to say maybe the whole year, because FaZe had a very downward period for about 3 or 4 months towards into CSGO. So I think it's definitely not a lock-in, but CS2 for me, Robs for sure. Like, absolutely killing it right now.
This year?
Yeah.
Overall?
Yeah.
Both games?
Both games.
I mean, ZywOo hasn't played much of CS2 yet, but I mean, I still have to say ZywOo.
You like
just
ZywOo, don't you?
CSGO and won the major and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Good answer. Blame F.
Yeah, I think it's easy. It has to be ZywOo, even though like Robs is playing good right now. And
I would say if it's just CS2, we would say Robs.
Yeah, maybe, but it's too short of, like, ZywOo hasn't played those tournaments.
I think it's like 8 maps or 4 maps or something.
So
in CS2.
you cannot count it in. I think ZywOo for sure has been the best player of the week. Like, I don't even think it's close.
ZywOo for sure.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean,
it's a good lad, isn't he? He's pretty decent.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, hasn't had a bad run either.
Yeah, honestly, don't really have a clue. Like, I guess, are we talking CS2 or just CSGO?
If it was a game show, I would say just 2023 full stop. So both. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would say probably ZywOo as well, actually.
In CS2, you'd probably maybe the argument of Robs would be up there, but it's
exactly.
If it's CSGO,
but it's
then
also such a small sample size, and they've been winning, right? So
yeah.
And I don't think you guys have been in a lot of the tournaments.
No.
So
I mean,
it's hard to say.
So yeah,
it's
just like it is ZywOo, but like it's difficult to say.
Yes,
that's what we've come up with there. Not the hottest take, but we'll take it.
And so it seems like FaZe do have fight in them after all. Vertigo potentially an anomaly in this series. Vitality's younger guns looking a little more nervous here on map 2.
Yeah.
There's a historic win streak on the line with FaZe. There's a chance for Kerrigan to lift a trophy on home soil, to add himself to the name of Danes that have done it in the Royal Arena. It's a lot of pressure for these players in the server. And with second half set up, FaZe's 2-round lead on the CT side looks to be leading us to Mirage.
Yeah, it could be very thin.
Looks can be deceiving.
Absolutely. And even though Kerrigan was 1-8 after the end of that half, his value was in the calling. Those T-sided rounds were comprehensive, they were thorough, and they put the pressure on Vitality to make those kills as easy as possible. And now Apex will switch over to the T side as the captain of Vitality to try to apply it in the same way. And Flamesy, as the opener, came out of Vertigo looking hot, needs to continue on with that.
Kerrigan gushed. Oh, Rops is even further back and ready to help out. That could prime Spinks perfectly. He finishes the little health left on Kerrigan.
Yeah, that's big. That's first rotation down, and there was a second player there who was shooting outside, of course.
Twist has responsibility right now. And it feels like he knows he needs to maybe get a little more. Can't just sit within sight and hope to stop it. But will his ambition cost him? He comes around the corner and Spinks is able to react. That's 2 Ts confirmed in lobby. They have the bigger picture FaZe. But do they have the chance? As he comes up bent, Spinks slaps Brokey down and Rops. It's a single shot to get it back.
But the bomb is recoverable. Rops opens the door. Position now known. Spinks, these two lurkers.
Just tucks in. Spinks goes quiet, 30 seconds.
Two of the strongest clutchers this year could come down to a headshot. Not worried about the HP.
But I mean, what do you do? How do you do it with the door closed? With a barrier in place between the two.
This is a massive call out.
They sit and they wait, and Spinks doesn't want to wait any longer. Spinks knows he has to make a move. He wants that extra bit of time just in case. And guess what? Rops makes the wrong move.
Oh my God. And Spinks will quietly put the bomb down. Rops thought after this amount of time, it must have been the case that he left.
But
it wasn't
still just fly up this ladder and rip a headshot off of Spinks. Hell, hit him in the chest. 24 HP.
But he came out so fast. Does he think he missed the timing?
Plus with a smoke on sight, more insecurity.
Will the early door close make a difference?
Rops was the one that shut it in his face. He then tries to play it the other way around. Rops silently getting ever closer, but he's not working with that kit. It would be 10 seconds, and Spinks is not going to buy into this. Spinks is going to double it back. Time is of the essence. And now Spinks knows that he goes for the kill. And Rops, you may find your frag, but it's Vitality with the pistol.
That was a majestically played round out of Spinks. That's absolutely beautiful. Playing it with the knowledge in mind that he doesn't have a kit in that 1v1, out mind gaming his counterpart on FaZe in Rops.
Sometimes Counter-Strike's all-out war, and then other rounds like that, a beautiful game of chess.
Yeah, that was chess, absolutely. And what could be a tournament-winning pistol round. We'll find out. It's Vitality who are up a map. FaZe have to go against it. Look at this round from beginning to end out of Spinks. And this tournament, man. What a massive performance from him from beginning to what looks like the end.
I mean, he is ZywOo's right-hand man, nipping at his heels in the stats department. That's a great dink. I don't know, where does that come from? What was that?
He was just spamming in front of me through the smoke.
Oh, it's the M4, the M4.
It's Apex luck.
Get a nade out on ramp. Oh, no, Kerrigan.
Oh, that's a massive. I mean, he's playing committed inside of the ramp. They don't see anything else right now.
Trying to get util out, looking to use that 5-7, so doesn't even get a shot off.
There's two options that happen. Either the CT's mass rotator ready to get downstairs, but normally the way they do that is by staying on the ramp. That's the easiest way to get down and fan out into dark and cross over towards clock. So Vitality know they've won a very important kill and piece of map control in a round like this. This is actually like a reassess, don't blunder type of situation, more so than what are they doing now? They weren't talking to me.
Nope.
And this is going to be a quiet close, it seems, as they finally are correct. The window is blown open, but no one control side all the smokes that they need. And the plant can safely go down. FaZe just hoping that it ended up being a gamble back upstairs, but I think that it's hard to trick Vitality in that situation. Taking ramp with that frag at that tempo, I think everything made perfect sense to them.
Nothing you can do about stopping this one.
And FaZe, well, that lead vanishes now as Vitality tie up. But there's still, they do this on T side. I mean, that would be something special. Now we're talking about Rain on CT side. His autonomy inside of Yard as the CT player. His kills will matter a lot. We saw what he did on T side already. That half of the job done. Twist having a better map than he did before. Kerrigan's calls have been super sound. I think in terms of IGLing so far this map, Kerrigan's the one I'm looking at. Apex, I think, has more to prove. And Flames has a chance to show on T side now. After coming off a weak CT side. If he can end on a high note. It's one thing to do the first map of the grand finals, but he's looking for a series victory, a tournament victory.
I mean, I would expect nothing less from Twist as well. That's the beauty of the FaZe clan, is that each of these individuals could start slow, still have impact in the series. That's what makes their undying nature believable every time. And Rain will continue to just tap back from Garage. He did good damage last round, didn't catch his kill.
don't know how no one died right there, but well, that's the one really good gun. Changing hands now to a high HP player.
Chuck it over to Twist, see what he can do instead. The shades of Vertigo and Vitality's approach, just grouping up in these silent mid-rounds. And it's when they pounce as a pack that it does look really good. It's what tore through FaZe's defense in the first map. This defense meant to be better. Not really equipped for it. But again, Vitality just wait. They let FaZe stew in this pressure. With Incendiaries over the top, things get a little wild. CT's position revealed as Fire finds feet. No damage off the shotgun, but the 5-7 will find it. Kerrigan serving up a distraction for Twist to go through, and it's a Brokey jumping shotty. This defense, with bare bones weapons, looks to hold. Mezzy given a chance to stamp his name on a round. That Nova changes hands twice. That Nova takes heads off shoulders.
Yo, that's a nightmare Nova rotation right there.
Vitality just getting up close, right? It's the beast that is hitting an A site versus these kinds of half-buys. Shotguns on hut, pistols behind boxes, and an M4 perfectly placed to support up from heaven.
They had two pairs of eyes layered on top of each other, just as you pointed out. Looking down at Squeaky, waiting for that bust.
Yeah, just it's the distractions up front, and it's Twist to close kills above.
Right back in the lead, our FaZe.
Vitality still very well equipped. Ooh, and again, Rain is just pumping out damage outside, but he's gonna have to be careful.
No one died last time. This time he takes no damage back, 10 HP for Apex.
There's a lot of players outer for both these teams. That's a ton of damage though. Now Spinks is down to 13. Mezzy gets hit through him. Flames is trying to find something off Mini, but no chance. He at least keeps CT's back far enough that not only does he pick up this headshot, he's got teammates in position to jump.
Yeah, that's Ropstead, actually. Of course, that's a player who goes on to ramp, so now they know the rotation is down to one downstairs. One goes down the...
Oh, he's got to deliver this.
This angle can be good, but it can make you pay as well.
Oh, first one's clean. It's his fourth of the map. And is it enough to have them stutter? They stall out. They hold for a second. And again, Vitality, happy to play with the clock. But they're going to have to play off those with health. ZywOo, Flamesy. Apex and Spinks barely standing. Oh, Kerrigan, he tries to push in, and it's that opening right there that could prime Vitality to tie this game again.
Yeah, and Rain takes his first kill on top of Flamesy, finally, at Mini.
They clear out B site, no resistance, nothing here to stop them. Vitality can go ahead and plant.
Brokey's literally saving. He's already back in the corner of his spawn, yeah.
Vitality find their opening. It's, again, a lot of posturing, a lot of bodies, but more so Vitality just getting into secret. And Kerrigan, he's not even given a chance at a multi-spray. If two players come around that corner, maybe he gets them. But, I mean, Vitality perfectly stopped.
Yeah, that looked so nervous right there. I mean, I like that, like, Kerrigan goes for the re-aggression when he feels like it's time. Rain stays outside to try to finish off his food, and Flamesy up top on Mini. And they stick around to try to maintain control of outside. I think we saw more fear out of Vitality in that sense. But the fact that Vitality can withstand that pressure and fight back and come away with a win, and someone like Flamesy can stay alive for that long and come up with 2 kills, I think that's a really good sign for them. But all that really tells me is this game's going to be extremely close. Not so much that Vitality are suddenly going to take this away. FaZe still have more to show. Lots of money left over. Brokey still on that op. It's this one. It's this one that's... This one, when you take Rops out in this position, you go downstairs, right? You know that he's out of place, and that it's probably Brokey opping the ramp. They can't be double pushing it, and they already saw Rain. So that's where FaZe's hand is kind of forced. And Rops takes a very good peek. Flames is just better. So they use the information perfectly with Apex at the helm, and they turn it into a victory, but they've still got to go through a whole new buy. And this time, got the double op.
Slight adaptation in the hands of Rops. Flames did such a good job off main last round. Every single CT was just getting peppered by him. Pressure all over the place until that clinical headshot shines through. And what a contrast. Again, we're swinging with 2 ops in your
my
face,
God, that's
but
so risky to do mid-round. They must have had some kind of read right there.
With nobody else as well.
Yeah, he must have, I don't know exactly. He felt super confident, clearly, to make that happen. Maybe, yeah, could have been something from a demo. Seeing them peel back, and now Kerrigan takes another peek. And that's a lot of information that Vitality are getting without a death.
FaZe still trying to make moves, but Brokey exposes. Spinks catching not just the kill through door, but then the player that's maybe supposed to cover. Kerrigan's gonna try to draw it back with a frag. He will, and it's a softened up Spinks, but just like the round prior, pressure downstairs. Can Rops really stop it with the op? Not by missing first shot. He may not even get a chance at a second, but he'll pop the smoke to create ambiguity. Which side does he peek?
He wants to take a risk, but he knows they're going to take over control side. 20 HP.
He's stuck.
Oh, the flash is perfect to get him off the angle.
No help.
Final nail, ZywOo. And that's too expensive to try to forfeit. But he's giving it up one way or the other, it seems like. Oh, Rops on the sidearm. Spinks takes him down, and that's a massive round for Vitality.
Maniac and Pimp pre-game as well, just discussing the possibility of Flamesy going absent in map 2. That's something that we've seen in the past, and sure enough, this is not Vertigo in terms of his performance.
Yeah.
Spinks puts up a huge round here because he catches the back of Brokey, and Twist, anticipating a T-side peek, wasn't ready for someone to be stagnant in the corner.
Yeah.
It's Spinks positioning, crisp aim, and a 3K on top of this to put Vitality back up.
His consistency is almost unparalleled. Like in his role right now, he's so reliable every single time. And it looks like a great shot from ZywOo outside, but it's the risk that if Rain knew they were back there in that position, he would have never jumped up. So he must have had some kind of idea that they were going to fall back. He could call him out if that was the case. But he could have also done that walking up to the blue box, getting flashed in front of it, or doing it in a more safe way. Like from up there, he would have had to jump down and push all the way around. And that would have taken forever, right? Even if he saw no one back there. But sometimes if you don't have the info, you still have to play for it, or play like you know what the move is going to be. Whoa, this one could be for 10 here for Vitality. Not a single rifle available at FaZe.
It's going to take one of those heroics, right? One of those miraculous moments that we know FaZe for. Something that starts like this. With Rob's solo kill on ramp, it looked good, but then we get the immediate push from Kerrigan. He just ran through lobby as if it was going to be completely open.
Yeah.
No care in the world. And it costs him, as Rops then falls right after because it's Vitality moving as a pack. The newer roster, with Mezzy sprinkled in, another rough game from him, but it doesn't matter because Vitality move as a unit. And that unit's about to just bombard this B site. But what they don't know is FaZe is here. Not one, but two. From the corner, Brokey dies. Then the peek, out of the deagle in the backside. He does snap up to finish Mezzy, and he tries his damnedest to get to the solo door, but Vitality are gonna have none of this. Vitality will take their 10th.
Wow.
They are not making mistakes.
I thought they would get nervous and lose this game. After the first half, I thought for sure. This speaks to leadership of Apex. I want to hammer that home. I 100% believe there's no way he got his troops together, got them out of that first half mentally. Flamesy, Mezzy told him we can do this on T side. ZywOo continues to deliver. Spinks continues to deliver. He just worries about the other two and himself. And they put up 3 great rounds now in a row.
Of course, it was the half out of FaZe. Just trying to make that magic happen. But the sparks aren't quite there within this second half, and time is running out if you were FaZe.
We saw how good Rain was on the T side, going up top, clipping wings outside. He is instrumental.
Could have a moment queued up here. But again, when there's one, you get the entire hive. Swarm after swarm, Vitality taking over sites, but then also at moments just sitting here silent. And self-doubt creeps into the minds on a quiet night.
Oh, they use that info again.
That helps.
But hey, material for a position. Brokey gets a kill.
Rops hears this. And Rain's also trying to piece together some information. They know that there's players crawling outside. Mezzy on the close smoke picks up a huge kill, but remember, this has at least been heard.
It's a distraction though, isn't it?
Apex is waiting and waiting. He looks away, but turns back in time.
Oh, another massive.
Not let Kerrigan slip out of here.
It's another massive win for him over Kerrigan inside the lobby.
Kerrigan thinking he could get away with something fancy. Brokey will find the trade at least. Apex not able to escape the hive. Rops deep, finds his. And that's man advantage back for FaZe. Rops will even hold back Spinks. Okay, the desperation's here, and so is Flames. Lost clutches on Vertigo back-to-back. It's the one thing that he could not do in the first map of this series was close a clutch. And guess what? Time will decide that he can't do it again.
Wow, you got to give it up to FaZe, man. The fact that they kept the pressure on no matter what, that looked completely lost.
Just leaning back, even losing Rain on Secret.
Yeah, when they lost Rain on Secret, you think, no way. And they could have gone downstairs, but they did not. They were not cohesive. Just after accrediting Apex for keeping the troops together in these last 3 rounds, here they got confused, fell into the trap. But again, it's because FaZe are so good at cultivating chaotic situations and staying on top of every single detail. And again, Kerrigan, thorough but not strict. His individuals are allowed to make decisions for themselves. He proved that's the best way to play CS. And that's why FaZe are so sustainable, so scary for such long periods of time.
But a round loss right now, I would snap FaZe in half. We see the limitations already come out. Forward spots. And again, Vitality creep. Robs was huge in hell last round, holding back, making sure Spinks couldn't get out with that bomb, just delayed long enough for the clutch to not even have a possibility. He's hefted himself down, but the moment he pops up, Mezzy adds one to the tally, and you see the immediate pounce come out of Vitality. FaZe are frantic to put up some kind of a defense to not get reset. Rain will make sure he brings one down with him, but as the fire pops, Kerrigan comes out, twists, burns to the hands of ZywOo.
Oh, what a big risk.
Man advantage. And ZywOo's gonna lay down smoke, makes it harder for the CTs. They just disrespected utility. They try it again, and it doesn't work on either front.
There's no tunnel vision. They dropped the smokes down, but they still watched him. They had 3 pairs of eyes.
That instant headshot over towards the ramp. Rob's dying, B-site crumbles, Twists and Rain can't get enough, and Vitality 2 away.
Wow, the dink is just not enough right there. He needed to be able to slink away. The same standard was held to Mezzy. If you die in the ramp, that could be too much. Even if ramp is open, even if ramp is completely open and no one's playing there, that will actually burn time off the clock. They don't have info, they don't have that kill. But when you kill the ramp player, then your options are wide open. You see the name in the kill feed and you know the setup now. That's too much. That's Rops' nightmare. That's FaZe's nightmare. And that's Vitality getting one step closer to closing out this whole damn tournament.
We've seen double op setups. We've seen entire groups of FaZe players outside. We've seen Rain try to do it on his own. We've seen the variation in FaZe that we've come to praise. We see them get wild on that Molotov towards double. If Twists could have just gotten out of the flames,
I can totally understand why they indulged in pushing one after another right there. There actually is a world where they 2K completely ruin the setup, and then a flank comes in from the vent or wherever and does the rest of it. Rain was the one who took the best risk inside of control room, but then Kerrigan, Twists, 2 players betting on black and both coming up with nothing. They gambled for that one. They lost.
That last round, an embodiment of trying to create the chaos so you can thrive in the carnage that comes after. But instead, it's a timidness out of Brokey as he goes for the save, and FaZe are going broke.
Oh, every marble on this right now. Brokey has the op in hand, nobody else.
Earlier this event,
Rops at least has an AUG.
When Twists nearly lost the game with FaZe, he said, man, I almost kind of thought our streak was over. But we continue to fight with fire in our bellies. And so they'll need to defend it again here in grand finals. But guess what? Spinks sees you coming.
He pre-cleared this.
Not gonna happen, bud. Brokey hits the deck, but trade's right there.
Okay.
There's layers on this defense, and honestly, MP9 exchange for op, let's see it. Twists has put forward great op frags in the past.
Let's even transfer his skills from Anubis, because that's where he really showed off.
Deep range out of Rops, holds the line to just deter Vitality from getting ever closer to this ramp. Last round it came for free, this time seems close.
They tried to dry swing it because they saw the op on upper, but now they see the second best gun of the round in Rops is also a scope. A great weapon to have at ramp.
Twist ever patient. Vitality limited. They haven't had any control outside, so it makes sense. Go ahead, try to swing your split. And I love that he catches him on the 3rd piece of utility. Smoke, flash, no problem. Molotov is where Twist draws the line, but the op starts to get away from it. Sticks it in the belly of the FaZe makes sure that the fight goes back and forth. 4 rounds, none consecutive. This is is where FaZe thrive.
Yeah, that's right. One round game. Like magic, an op, an AUG, and the next best gun being a FAMAS after this 5v4, and Twist.
Recovery.
Oh, the recovery, the quick scoop of the op as well on top of the trade with the MP9. The trades are there.
With that opening kill, Brokey getting caught without realizing that he'd let somebody get into the corner.
Yep.
No, that's all Twist right there.
That could have been it for sure. That was such a sneaky move from Spinks. He sometimes does get there into the back right of Hut, but when Brokey went to check on it initially, already missed the timing. Then when he came back, he was definitely dead. And Apex is trying to conjure up a plan.
Frantically.
Yep.
As timeouts start to run dry.
Pressure is on.
Run out.
Full buy for both teams. Vitality looking for tournament point. FaZe looking to tie.
Initial molly's outer. We're gonna get a deep position from Rain. Contrast that to when he climbs up on blue box, gives away opening kill. Who plays safer, or who runs a risk that could very well pay off? Little clash on the squeaky door, no deaths yet, but you know you want to get out of there. Single bullet could have finished the job.
Kerrigan.
Spinks from instrumental to near non-existent.
Kerrigan got so much damage on that, but couldn't finish him off. A couple of times coming into the lobby, getting outflanked, caught by Apex, actually, not even Spinks. Vitality will shift to a new gear after getting shoved out of their own lobby. Oh, we were talking about a pretty broke Vitality here, actually. I didn't even realize that. Spinks is now on this Deagle.
Oh no, this is real. This is FaZe with a very real chance of cracking the cache.
That means there's only exactly enough utility needed for the game plan. Let's see if they can stick to it.
Every piece important. Each and every step of the way, coupled with a nade. And there goes a very crucial flash to main. They're gonna test Kerrigan, and Flamesy picks it up right with a triple. It's deep from Garage. He lays down the law, and Apex. No entry allowed. That passive position from Rain, not clambering over boxes, not looking for fights, but letting Vitality make their move.
Oh, after that, they got the 5v4, and Rain, all in one breath, puts the spray down, and the full house for Brokey here with the last kill.
Man, that last shot's electric.
And that was Apex's final plan. I'm sure he wasn't even counting on the fact that they now have to full eco to defend against map point. ZywOo, the hero AK of the round.
Come on. He can't be this good. They told me he was done in CS2. And yet highest rated player of the event coming into his own, 21 frags on the map.
He's already picked his fight. It's only a matter of time. We're gonna watch this shape up in the next few seconds.
We've seen a contrast in Rops' results from getting blinded by a 5-7 and losing the B site to posting frags if he can hold down there. This time he's gonna play upper. Take a bit of a glance deep, but he didn't see the cross. And remember, there is a gun in there. There's only one ZywOo. But believe it or not, sometimes one is all you need. No matter where they go, though, the approach met by Smoke, perfectly timed, first on ramp and then a second down on Squeaky.
Yeah.
Vitality are just kind of being pushed back and forth.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't want to block the exec, especially versus the stack site. Rops is alone here.
And he wins the fight. Critically, that AK goes down. And you'd think without ZywOo, without armor, it's got to be impossible. You can try to rush that bomb site, take a plant, but Brokey gets overwhelmed.
That's the op, that's the bottom of heaven. That's Kerrigan now rotating in, door swung open, they heard it.
20 seconds. They're trying to piece together the picture. To steal the 12th round like this, I mean, that's taking a page out of FaZe's book. Kerrigan leans back and Apex has found the safe plant. Now they need a retake. But Messi, quiet across this event, hits a critical headshot. A 2 versus 4, but there's not even a kit.
No.
And Rain's going down with nothing.
Why did they block them? Connor, they blocked them from going back upstairs.
They could have just walked out squeaky, and all of a sudden, FaZe inside that bomb site, they rip flesh from bone. Instead, Vitality on the brink of taking 12. Vitality will have one opportunity to steal away FaZe's win.
They sent them back to Rops by himself when they had 2 people upstairs. Yeah, they get to show off that they called out their positions, but they didn't even have a stack ready for the site, the part of the map that was going to be open.
Insanity. And that's without ZywOo.
And that's without ZywOo, and that's without Brokey in support there. They weren't trying to funnel into the correct location, and they suffer the trade. We've already seen Rops die 1 for 1.
Glocking
or even
down
less.
the Auber.
Yeah.
Mezzi posted on the Kerrigan angle. Apex also slithering through sight around the rafters, pulling down behind Silo, just perfectly placing bomb. Everything falls into place wonderfully for Vitality. And after having his dreams crushed by his countrymen last year, Kerrigan, with a mere pistol, will face back-to-back heartbreaks in the Royal Arena.
Oh, and that's almost looked tragic for Vitality. But now what have we got? They're in a king position.
The spam is fantastic. The turn back around, excellent. Apex continuing in this event to add frags, but Brokey's backside. And he will not play timid. He forces his way out, and they go down. That streak is over, and you have a new CS2 Grand Champion.
Oh, they did it. They ended the series for FaZe. Through all the consistency with the new guys. Mezzi coming up with a trophy.
This is not a Vitality that leans on years of experience. This is not a Vitality leaning on the core of Dupree, Magisk, and Zonic. These are not legends, these are newcomers. And those newcomers have just stopped FaZe in their tracks when they felt so incredibly invincible. The greatest achievement of UK CS in the last 10 years of Counter-Strike. Flames a second trophy, Spinks and him side by side, and an unquestionable performance from ZywOo, who on map 1 didn't have to do it himself, but on this second map proved the haters wrong. Doesn't matter what version of this game, ZywOo's here to stay. He's not going anywhere.
You can see the jubilation. Just pure ecstasy for this lineup. Apex proving it again, saying they couldn't replace Magisk. Well, they have. And they've done so successfully in the face of the crowd without a Danish player here in the Royal Arena. Success for the new, a test to the new coach, Xtaz, who has come back after a tumultuous couple of years, proving so much and stealing a Royal Arena away from Kerrigan.
For the second time in a row. For the second time, he falls at the final hurdle. And so, the golden gates of the Royal Arena open yet again. In the grand finals, they've slain the final Dane. They drop FaZe on their heads, rising to the occasion to put a historic run to its end. A major return to form. A new force to be reckoned with. The Blast Fall Finals champions. Behold, Team Vitality!
Team Vitality have done it against all odds and with a new team here. Xtaz, let me start with you. You just come back, you had a new player in, and you lift a trophy. Did you always believe this was possible?
Yeah, as I said before the tournament, I think we could win the trophy or maybe finish last, and we decided to take the first option. So I'm really proud of the guy today.
Mezzi, first ever trophy. What can you say?
I mean, it's yeah, for the king. Nah, pretty speechless. I think 2 weeks in the team, and this is how they do it at Vitality. So it's a good welcome in at least.
And looking at this fight, you come to your first event with the team. There's little practice. It's been some tough games for sure. But what did these guys tell you when you got to this stage?
I think it's just the fight from everyone in this team that's kept us going in all these games. Winning the first map in a lot of these best of threes and just coming back to fight, it's insane. The mentality that we have is something that we're going to keep forever.
Now, Dan, you said you wanted to prove the Danes that they made a mistake here, right? That's what we saw in the interview. Have you done it?
Not yet, not yet. We have a long run to do. I'm just so proud of the boys. I mean, what we've done here. I didn't expect to win the tournament before coming here. But the grind we made all together, practice, individual, was insane. And yeah, I mean, I love it, and I'm just speechless, and it's just good to win finally in Copenhagen after losing 2 years ago.
And I want to ask you, Dan, you have to add a new player into a team, right? There's a lot that changes with it, and for you guys, even position changes as well. What did it take from you as the leader? How did you try and piece this all together?
For me, what I tried to do is put William in the best condition. It's not easy for him to fit magistrals. So he wasn't playing too much of an anchor before and everything, so it's not easy. So I tried to help him as much as possible, while the other made their job as usual, I would say. A lot of credit for Char also this tournament. He stepped up massively. That's what I said on National TV, that when you lose Magisk, he takes a lot of space in the team, but someone had to do it as well, and this tournament it was Char, so prop to him. And yeah, just really happy. Finally, we win here in Copenhagen. And guys, who said Zao wasn't good on CS2, for fuck's sake?
Copenhagen and the Royal Arena. Give it up for your champions, Team Vitality!
Vitality victorious and crowned the kings here in Copenhagen. We're talking about the first event where Mezzi was brought into the mix. The first event where Xtaz returned to his former squad and they take home the gold. And what a poetic way to get it done, Matthew. We're talking about their backs being pushed against the wall on that map of Nuke. Some miracle rounds pulled out the bag, and Vitality now taking home finally the trophy from Copenhagen.
Vitality started a streak for FaZe Clan so they could end it in Copenhagen. That's what this was all about. Vitality showing heart and an incredible character to win rounds that up until that point, only FaZe could win. Who else but FaZe could win a round in a full eco to put you on 12 with augmented pistols? Vitality put it out the hat. And that is the moment where you know, you understand, you're looking at champions who are ready to take these risks in the moment that matters the most.
You are indeed looking at champions, Matthew, and I think Apex said it pretty well on the stage. Who on earth thought that ZywOo wasn't a great Counter-Strike 2 player? Just because we're changing the game a little bit, just because the maps looks a little bit different. Of course, one of the greatest players to ever touch our goddamn game is showing up in the final, and he did it in style. The impact he had on Nuke right here. Sure, it was a team from Vitality showing up all together. We can't forget about FlameC's first map as well, a dominant performance. But when push comes to shove, second map Nuke, guess who shows up? It's your wonderful ZywOo.
And of course, we have to be relying on him being such an instrumental player. And I think you put it perfectly, Jacob. The style, the impact that he was able to deliver, game-changing Vitality in the final moments of that second map.
You got to understand, even though he was the best in CSGO, there was no guarantee that would transfer to CS2. We didn't know. Some players out there are struggling. We don't really know what's going to happen with Nico. Simple is taking a few months off. We didn't know he was going to provide that kind of level. And the first few signs we saw in Sydney were worrying. They were concerning. And then the question becomes, how do you react? How do you deal with this, ZywOo? Do you think we're going to give you the same level of scrutiny? No, we are not. You are the chosen one. You are someone we are going to analyze every single mistakes. Every single moment you don't deliver that star level performance, we're going to be there to step on you. And he answered the most beautiful way. He's had reference maps throughout this series. You're looking at the playoff, and in each and every game of the goddamn playoff, he's had a moment where only ZywOo can do what ZywOo does, and that makes me happy.
It makes me insanely happy to watch, Matthew. Another thing that makes me insanely happy, apart from that cam flipping all over, would of course be our wonderful Apex. One thing is the personality that he brings to our game, but as a raw in-game leader, we have to start the conversation up there with him being, if not the best, then one of the best. He was able to bring in Messi into this lineup. He was able to integrate Spinks into the lineup. He's been able to integrate FaZe into his lineup, and he's continuing to win trophies. Sure, it's mitigated. Sure, it's easier when you have CYVU on your team. That's a big help to it. But as a raw in-game leader, I think Apex has made the case the past couple of years that he's up there with the very best in the world. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
All the success he's had in the last few years is quite impressive, I have to be honest with you. He said it himself in an interview. He was here 2 years ago, and that trophy just got swept away by Na'Vi. At the time, he did not have the weapons to answer back. He did not have the players. He did not have the pedigree beside him to stop Na'Vi. But today, with that team, he showcases the improvement as an IGL, the story, the path that he's been on, and it's great to witness. They give shout-outs to FaZe. I think it's only fair we do so.
We have to.
We talked about the departure of Magisk and how it was impossible to find a player who was going to deliver exactly what he did. So what do you need? Other players to step up. And FaZe with this massive map 1, I mean, it's heroic from him. Absolutely heroic.
Absolutely incredible. And we're talking about FaZe only posting his second trophy in that cabinet. It's really been, you know, a coming of age, I would say, for FaZe this year, having to integrate into Vitality, where we were worried exactly how he would be fitting in. But man, he's been showing up in buckets and spades alongside the rest of Vitality. So props to him for really giving it his all, particularly on that first map of Vertigo.
Yeah, without a doubt. That first map, that's one that's going down to history for FaZe at the very least. He's going to feel very good about that tonight when he's having a drink, celebrating the trophy. Fact of the matter is that he's maturing as well within Vitality. Because you're right, when he was brought in, we had question marks. He's replacing a very prominent player in Dupree that's won 5 majors, that's been around for a long, long time. The pressure on FaZe's shoulders were big. It was heavy, a big responsibility. But for my money, for my concern so far, he's done tremendously well, and he's only getting better.
And what's incredible is that with the arrival of Messi, in our minds, we're kind of forgetting how fresh FaZe is at that very level. He went from OG, he was put into Vitality, pretty much thrust into the water. Come on, sink or swim, boy. And he actually rose up. That's quite incredible. We're talking about losing Dupree and Magisk, 2 of the most experienced players out there, and Vitality still find a way to win. That in itself speaks of the structure of that team as well.
Just think about it if you're Xtaz right at this very moment, right? Because we're talking about when they came second place here in Copenhagen, that was one of the final events that sparked, you know, hey, Vitality's going to go international. We're going to go away from this French roster. He comes back, first event, he's able to lift the trophy that evaded him 2 years ago, Jacob.
I've said it many times. I think he was hard done by back then. I think Xtaz has always been a great coach. I think Apex even said it. He didn't necessarily want to lose Xtaz, but in order to make the international roster happen, to bring in Sonic, to bring in the Danes, he had to let go of him. So it's beautiful. It's romance that he's now back on Vitality, doing together with Apex again. As I said to you in the green room as well, the first time I saw Sonic stand behind Vitality, it didn't quite feel real. I was always associating Xtaz with the Vitality coach, and now seeing him back lifting a trophy, to me, that's great.
We always talk about how the quality of the relationship between the IGL and the coach is a golden goose, or golden egg rather. That's how they refer to it, HLTV out there, rereading the website. And this has never been so true in Vitality. I think the quality of the link that is between Xtaz and Apex is vital. And it is ever so important because Apex has been tasked with challenges along his path. And now I think he has a little bit of known, someone that he knows, that he's worked with in the past that can help him integrate Messi, can help him stay on top of things, because he said it. The road is just at the very beginning right now. This is a trophy. It's great. Everyone is happy. But there is a major coming out in this very arena in a few months.
Can I get patriotic for a second? British CS is finally back, baby. UK CS is on the map. I told you it was coming, and it was Messi to do it. The biggest achievement that we've had in the British scene in any kind of Counter-Strike history, right? And he takes the trophy in his first ever event. And he was even saying, you know, coming into this, yeah, maybe there's a chance. I believe in the pieces around me, and he does it. It's just a magical moment.
I mean, we can take the temperature on it, right? I think for this tournament in itself, it wasn't like Messi was standing out for Vitality, but he had to earn his spot to even be invited into that group of people. Imagine you're Messi. Imagine you're playing in Fnatic and you've done so well for yourself that Vitality, the major winners, are considering bringing you in instead of Magix. That's, to me, the story right here. Sure, as an individual, as Apex said, they have to integrate him. There's a long way to go before he feels comfortable playing the anchor roles, but he earned that spot by being fantastic in Fnatic, and I'm sure we're going to see more of Messi in Vitality.
And I'm right there with you. We can't really say that he was spectacular, but I will say, in spite of having rough moments, we have been on his POV, on his camera, and he's hit very impactful impactful shots in moments where the game was on a knife edge. And not everybody is capable of hitting these shots while having a hard game. And that in itself, that speaks volume to Messi, and I want to give him props for that.
Surely elation on the side of Vitality, finally able to lift a trophy here in Copenhagen. But unfortunately for the side of FaZe, heartbreak as they do miss out on yet another trophy here, and the streak does come to an end. So let's get a few exit words courtesy of Carrigan.
FaZe will finish here for the full finals in second place. Carrigan, as always, thank you very much for joining me. I know it's tough, and I saw you on the camera afterwards. For you, the Royal Arena almost feels like a curse. I want to see what it feels like in your mind right now. Like, how do you explain the feeling you're going through?
I mean, it depends on how I look at it, right? I knew at some point we we're going to lose. Obviously, that's part of the game. But obviously, I wanted to win here in Royal Arena. It's just part of the game, right? I'm going to go back and look at what we can improve on. I think last year we were very close to come back, and we were close to come back as well. But that round's going to haunt me a bit. But to be honest, FaZe Clan have won a lot of ridiculous rounds as well during our tournament runs. So, yeah, obviously pretty sad. But like I said, my mentality is this tournament is like every other tournament. But obviously winning here in Copenhagen would also mean a lot to me. But for now, it's just part of the game.
Was there an extra amount of pressure coming into this grand final? Did you feel it any different to yourself?
Not really, particularly. I feel like we have so been good at handling pressure, whatever. So I couldn't feel an addition to pressure of what we normally are. I think when you are FaZe Clan and you are playing with a win streak, you're always pressured to win, right? Expectations are to win. If you're not winning trophies within 3 months, everybody's calling for everyone's head in the team, right? Exactly. So I'm used to the pressure, but the problem I had before this game was already I knew the V2 was going to be a little awkward. On the same time, not enough information for us to kind of realize what they're doing. And they had a great game plan, and they won the right rounds to kind of like make us on the back foot all the time.
Can you talk me through that veto process as well? Because I'm guessing you assumed that Vertigo could be an option they pick into it with what you banned out, right? And obviously you guys have been willing to fight on it, but did you expect them to be maybe less prepared on it? Where was your mind at when you were looking at it?
There was two ways I could look at it. I could not ban Inferno and choose to control the veto and knowing they would pick Inferno. It's no secret that the practice of us haven't been much lately since we've been traveling so much. So Inferno was a map we haven't really practiced so much lately. So it's like been a month since we played an official as well. So we chose to go with Vertigo. We never knew if they're going to pick Overpass, Vertigo, Mirage, right? So and we played Vertigo here early in the tournament and felt good. So I just think we gave them too much space, and when we tried to catch up with them, they had a good game plan and moved good, and yeah, we had a chance in the end to kind of break them mid of the CT half, but they managed to stay alive and kind of kill the momentum we were building up.
And I know I spoke to you about this in Shanghai. You said you want to keep this roster together, but it's not always your choice. Was this the last time we see this phase together?
I don't think I'm the right person to ask. We have to wait and see, right? We don't know much. And I've tried to talk about it all the time, that we are just trying to do our best, what's right in front of us, to win here, see what happens. That's just part of being part of esports. You never really know what's happening.
Yeah, of course, unfortunate for FaZe Clan to be coming in second place for the second year in a row. But we do need to flip the script to talk about our Mersk MVP. It couldn't be any other man other than ZywOo. First of all, congratulations. It must feel pretty damn good to lift the trophy here, right?
Yeah, he was... Every game was really tough to play anyway. So yeah, I'm really proud for my team because even I'm a MVP of this game, I mean, of this tournament. But we play an amazing game together. We never give up. I could feel the mood as well. Inside of the team was kind of perfect. Even we were down behind the enemy. I could feel everything was perfect for our side, so it was really good to play.
You always say this every single time we get you up here for MVP conversations, which is a damn lot, ZywOo. You're always saying, yeah, it was good, but my teammates as well. It's a team game. How can you stay so humble, man? It's insane.
That's why I said that, because I cannot be 1v5 every round. So I need to have some teammates behind me. That's why we managed to win this tournament and also have good players and good round individually. So I have to pressure my teammates.
I mean, of course, it's a team game. It's not always going to be you, but there is an immense amount of pressure on your shoulders. And people looked at you after Sydney and they said, what is going on with ZywOo? You know, is he really up there? Did you feel a special volunteer, a special motivation to just shut them all up? Did you let the game come to you? Because this right here, that's the ZywOo I know and love. That's the one I like.
Actually, after Sydney, yes, I have some ego because I wanted to prove to everyone, like, it's just the beginning of CS2 and because I heard a lot of people saying like the new game is a bit bad or the op is gonna be hard to play, but I just want to prove to anyone, if you just work hard, you have to just, because they won't the op is not gonna be back like CSGO, so you need to find new thing to do, new pick, maybe new thing to do with your team about the op. So when you manage to think like this with your team, with everything behind it, you can do everything you want. That's why after Cine, I was like playing a lot of FaZe, trying to think about what can I do with my op more maybe. So that was my thing after Cine.
And that's the thing for me, Saivu, right? A lot of people were speaking, a lot of people were speculating. Were you ever in doubt that you'd come back to the level? Was there ever a point where you thought to yourself, maybe the op is too hard in CS2?
Actually, not really. I know what I'm capable of, so I'm not scared about what people are saying on me on Twitter or anything. Actually, I'm not going on Twitter. That's why maybe it's helping me. That's why it's helping me to.
That's healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really healthy. When I see other people watching, I'm like, it's not for me. It's not for me. But yeah, I'm just. Actually, I love this game. I love CS2 playing it, and more I play this game, more I feel really good. So
when we looked at your team with Messi coming in so shortly, we thought they are not ready. The game plan cannot be ready. Was that something that you guys felt that you needed to give 150%, you needed to give more of your own heart into the game because you can only do with what you have? It's been a pretty short stint for this roster.
Actually, with Messi, obviously we don't have a lot of practice because we have like 1 week and a half. But before that, we have the same core. We have still 4 players in the same roster, so we wasn't scared about only changing 1 player. We knew what the team can do for the future. So actually, before coming in this tournament, we knew if we are playing our level, if you are just playing like Vitality do like for the next 6 months, you can